Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the 6th episode of the Checkdown Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Lopez, along with Roy Swan, my co-host. Excuse me. Producer is Julio Ramirez. We also have a special guest in here for you guys tonight, Coach Willie Gaston of the North Shore Mustangs. Coach, welcome in.
Appreciate you for having me.
Roy, how you doing today?
Good, man. I brought my friends with me. Y'all see them, right?
Unfortunately, we do.
This is all the hardware I picked up since the last show 2 weeks ago. I got two more of these little gold ones, but they were sleeping. They didn't get to come make the trip. They're a little under the weather, so.
Have to throw this in my face, huh?
Yeah, because that big one we got.
I don't want to talk about it.
Robert was on the other sideline.
I was on the other sideline, and I took a big capital L, a big one. What was the score? 38-0 at halftime. Mercy ruled us in the state championship.
I didn't know that was 32-0, man. We had a nice little celebration playing for 38, but the dude, we scored 32, and the dude was like, "Ball game." I was like, "Ball game?"
Yeah, I was like, "Man,
what are you talking about, man? The game ain't over yet."
We were getting killed, and I was like, "Man, let these boys finish. They come all the way from Houston. Let them finish. Let them finish. Give us a 50-piece."
I thought at the beginning of the game, like the first three plays, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a tough game."
I did too.
It's gonna be a tough. Y'all stopped us, and then we got that first down. It was like, it kind of went downhill from there.
Aiden had a great tournament, man.
He did. He was the MVP. He was the offensive MVP of this tournament in Far Texas. Yeah, so he's had two good back-to-back tournaments. They gave us a run. We beat them 6-0 and 14-0. So that team STX. Roughnecks, I don't know what they were, but good game, man. They gave us a good challenge.
Good.
So, I want to start the show off with 2 moments of silence, man. First, let's go with the Houston Texans. Second, I got to give a moment of silence to my boy, James St. Patrick, man. Ghost is dead. Nobody watched Power?
I don't watch Power.
Nobody watched.
I've been off it for a while, so I'm so far gone.
Coach
so
is like, what are you talking about?
I can't tell you what's going on.
Man,
you're getting that football grind. TV.
No time for TV, y'all. But my boy James St. Patrick, man, they last episode they showed what appeared to be Ghost dead. So we're gonna get rest in peace, Ghost, man.
I don't know who Ghost is, but rest in peace, my man.
Rest in peace, Ghost, man.
How was 2020 so far for you guys?
Good, busy for me, man.
Busy.
What about
Coach?
you?
It's been good so far. I got to get some sleep.
Finally, right? Finally.
That's pretty good. Starting all over again. You get back into the grind. Off season starts and trying to go back and see what we got. Answer some questions this spring about some players and get it going.
Does football ever end? It seems like we're youth coaches, but it seems like for me, football never ends.
I probably get about 2 weeks, and that's right there in that Christmas break. But once that Christmas break over, you always thinking about it in your mind, Yeah. But as far as just actually getting, about 2 weeks of a solid break without having to say I gotta go do this at work, I gotta do that, But after that, it's back to the grind once school starts.
What do you do during that break? Like, what do you?
That break, man. No
watch
lie.
football.
I sleep and I watch football. But man, you come back home from that state tournament, playing in the state game, and that Sunday, man, I slept like all day almost. Man, it was just my body was just so drained. You just don't realize how tired you was, and you just working on fumes to that point. But you in that grind mode, head down and just steady working, and then all of a sudden it's done with, and you're used to going to work on Sundays to prepare for the following week, and
it's like a shock.
You ain't got nothing to do. You're looking around, and it's like I ain't got to be at work. So
it's all worth it in the end, though, right?
Absolutely.
When you're back to back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to back.
One another way.
Oh yeah. How's that feel, man? To be back to back.
It feels good, man. Sometimes, as coaches, and I guess we take for granted, especially I take for granted of what you truly done. So, we did something that was truly special, and it's harder, to repeat in any sport, especially in the state of Texas. And when it comes to football, where you're going to play a bunch of good teams, so to sit there and just really, reflect on the whole thing of everything is like, man, we accomplished something real good, and it's the first time in our school history. And I know, it's schools that's done it before, and kudos to all those schools that did it before, because it's really a tough thing to do.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
We talked about you guys a lot. You guys have a pretty special player coming back next year, huh?
Yeah, man. Anytime you get the quarterback coming back, that's like the nacho nucleus. You got that guy coming back. He's seasoned. He's been through it since he was a freshman. He's going into his senior years, and we expect good things out of him.
Yeah, he had a great year, of course.
Yeah,
he's been having great years.
He put up some people's numbers in the playoffs. Some guys didn't have the numbers he had in the playoffs all season. Man.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Every time I saw him, I saw the highlights for the game against Atascocita, and because we follow him on Instagram, and the highlights he put up, I felt like I was LV. How y'all doing up there? Y'all doing all right? Number 9, Demetrius, the boy can play some football. It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Man, the kid is, that game and, the game before that, Katie, he's just
playing with them.
He was just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Man, he definitely was the best player on the field, and I think anybody that knows, and as a fan of high school sports who was at those games can say the same thing. He was the best player on the field.
Definitely.
I was watching those games, and I felt like the Katie one, I felt like they sold out to stop the pass. Like, I felt like they sold out to stop the pass, and once those big guards and tackles sealed off those 3 techniques and the ends, the middle of the field was just wide open.
That's one thing, a guy like D, you take back the last couple of years, his games against Katie, he's thrown for about 300 yards a game.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
they know he can throw the ball. Everybody knows he can throw the ball. Some things he don't show as much as, when he's his ability to run the football. And like you said, and Katie was getting out of there kind of deep, and he was just really turning everything into a QB draw. That was part of the game plan was don't force it into a tight window. If they want to build out there, give them time to get out there, and you find your hole, and let's go.
Yeah, me and Willie talked about the right guard. He's a lineman that's coming back. I think he's 77. Yeah. But it seems like he was the key to all of those run plays because the 3 technique couldn't pick right. If he went inside, he turned him inside and up the B gap. If he went outside, he turned him outside up the A. Like he couldn't be right no matter what he did.
That kid's that kid's gonna be unbelievable as well. O-line is really one of those spots where that's where you win football games. That you got to have that interior. Everybody loves to see the skilled guys do this and that, but the teams that win games are the teams that have the best O-line and D-line. And those are the teams you're gonna see at the end. The Katies of the world, the Duncanvilles, Tatsita, their O-line, D-line is phenomenal. So when you start getting to that, level in the playoffs, if you got the better O-line, you got a good chance of winning.
I know we talked recently in one of our episodes about the linemen nowadays are not your typical linemen from back in the day. They're more athletic and they're bigger. They're more lean.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how. I don't know who 77 is. That's why he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He's like 6'5", and he's 355. But if you look at him, he carries the weight well. He's got a flat stomach. He's got a 6-pack. Small ankles, big calves. And he's athletic and his upside. We just got him. They moved down from Kansas. When their parents got job transfers, and he landed in our lap, and we're glad to have him. And the good thing is we got him for another year to help him develop even better. Yeah, because he still got some room to grow, and the kid's a great kid. And
what's his name?
Jaden Roberts. Yeah, so he came down here. He had an older brother that played on the team last year. His DN was pretty good. Made some plays for us too as well. So he's a senior though, But we got his younger brother back for another year. Hopefully we can develop him up and coach him up and make him ready to go for next year.
Sounds like you guys are reloading again.
Well, it's like I said, at this point right here, the one thing as a coach, you think about all of the puzzle pieces you got to, put back together, because you lost some guys and some key guys that are some good high school football players, which most people always think you got to win with a bunch of D1 talent, but not too many teams gonna have just a ton of D1 talent. We're fortunate enough to have a couple guys that have opportunity to go play D1, but we got a bunch of good high school football players as well. So our biggest thing is developing those guys and turning those guys into good football players. So we got some question marks. We got answers on both sides of the ball, and that's what this phase of the offseason is about, is trying to start finding out which guys are going to be solely in and which guys are not going to be in. So right now with this offseason phase, before we even think about what we're going to do on the football field, we got to see which guys who's going to buy into the program and want to compete.
Like that's where you start, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what's up?
we don't talk negatively about kids, so we're gonna keep it positive.
Of course.
On our end and your end too. But Evans, we see he decommitted, right? We don't know what's going on there. It seems like he decommitted, and you're seeing all kind of different stuff. He's going to visit Ole Miss. Clem is at Ole Miss. Coach Clem is at Ole Miss. He's going to visit LSU and all these different places. And he can't sign till February, right?
Well, he can't sign. I don't get right to anybody. He can't sign a national letter of intent because I guess he already signed one. But and he got out of it. But the biggest thing about him is whoever gets him is gonna get a phenomenal player. The kid is probably one of the. He's a generation talent. You don't get too many guys that has his physical size and nature and do the things he can do. And whoever gets him going to get a player that, that can play, and he's going to be pretty good for that program.
When I saw him in that All-American game, the dude looks like a grown man. He don't look like look like an 18-year-old kid. He looks like he's a college, college kid.
He's put together well. So, like I said, he's a grown man for sure. And I guarantee you, the people that's gonna get him is gonna be excited to have him.
Hopefully, he can just put all of that stuff behind him, move forward.
Definitely.
And I saw him with an LSU uniform on the other day. So that's the rich get richer right there. The rich get richer
Absolutely.
right there. So I don't know, whatever happened with Georgia. I personally thought Georgia was a good landing spot for him.
He since I've known about him, he's reminded me of Gurley. I don't know why. He's always reminded me of Gurley about the way he runs. I mean, he's a downhill runner.
Yeah,
he
does a lot of good things, man. He's, I got to see him since he was in middle school and high school as a freshman. It's like, man, this kid's gonna be, special. Yeah. He's really deserving of his ranking.
Yeah, I bet.
So, I know you played for North Shore. Y'all got some great teams there. Where do you rank? So last year they're saying that's the best team in high school history. Where do you rank last year's team, this year's team, and some of the teams you played on?
Man, it's so hard because the history of North Shore is just so deep, and you can say this team and this that team, but it's hard to argue with a team that that won 16 games and then lose a game, not go down as probably one of the best teams in North Shore history. Besides the 03 team that won 15-0, back when they played the 15 games. So you're looking at the team last year in 2018, man. They did some special things. They beat a bunch of top teams. They played. I guess we played, Katy twice. You beat a Katy. Anytime you can beat Katy, Katy's the. If you think about Houston football. And high school football.
First you think about Texas City, but then you think about Katy.
Not thinking about Texas City. But all seriousness though, you're gonna think about the Katys of the world, just the way they've been doing things so, dominant over the last 20 plus 30 years, but you get to make that playoff run, and I saw today on Twitter where this team had the toughest we had the fourth toughest schedule this year to win it. So it's just like, man, I'd like to see the other three teams ahead of us schedule as well, because I feel like we play some teams in the playoffs. Just starting off in round one, it was I want to say it was Dobie.
Yeah.
I think they lost only one game in district. To Atascocita. Then you go Dawson, who was the district champs. They was undefeated. So then you go third round. I want to say it was Katy, who beat us earlier, and then you go to Atascocita, who's got athletes everywhere, and then you got to go play a team like Lake Travis that lost one game early in the year, and then Duncanville, who's undefeated. So
when you reel them off like that, it's like
it's like, damn,
that's a nice little gauntlet.
That's a gauntlet,
And you guys arguably, I mean, with all respect to them, you guys blew them out. I mean, pretty good.
Who's that, Atascocita?
Everybody.
Well, we just. Our kids, they do a good job of just, completing and playing hard, man. They play so hard, and, they're motivated, but it's, blowouts are just hard to do. I don't, you're happy, that you're scoring points, but at the same time, you're hoping that, the wheels don't fall off on us, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's big time. Real quick, I know this is off topic, but I tried a Baja Blast. It's legit. Roy and them hyped it up, and it was awesome. I know.
So last week we talked about we're supposed to get
Timmy Chance.
Timmy Chance. He's never had Timmy
had
Chance. He's never had
Never had the wing dinner?
No,
I've never
no
had
wing
it.
dinner. Never had Lotus. And we're supposed to try an Impossible Whopper. But I got a call when I left here that said the Impossible Whopper has the same ingredients as dog food.
Oh man.
I remember. I'm out on the Whopper.
So I know Timmy Chance doesn't have any dog food in it. So I don't know if we're gonna do the Impossible Whopper or not because I don't want to be eating no damn Alpo sandwich. I don't want no parts of that, man.
Hey, Coach, real quick. You know who Herbert Bohanna is? Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted me to tell you what's up. He appreciates everything you did from back in the day when you were teaching him how to play ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just reached out to me right now. Wants to say he appreciates you.
I appreciate him, man.
Oh yeah, Roy.
Man, so let's talk about the we're gonna get back to high school, but let's talk about the playoffs this weekend.
Cowboys aren't in it, man. I'm not even watching.
I know, man. It's not.
I'm
I
kidding.
didn't watch any of it because we were playing, but
I did.
You had
it was good. It was good football, man.
Well, we missed 2. No, we missed 2 weeks, right? So you had the Texans and the Chiefs, and you start out 24-0.
Wait. Let's wait for Junior to come in here for that because he was there.
Oh, yeah, he was in here.
there.
He was at the game.
was at
We
the
were
game.
texting him.
He's
Who
a
else
new
did you-
super fan for a certain team now.
He's a like diehard
He's
Kansas
converted.
City
He's
now.
converted now. He's converted.
He's a Chiefs fan.
Steve got him a bandwagon form. So yeah.
So man, while I was away, I tried to, I was planning to get a picture. I went to Vegas to the little Conor McGregor press conference. I didn't get anywhere near Conor McGregor, so
He's a who the fuck is this guy?
I didn't get anywhere near him. He was nowhere in the hotel. Like Cowboy walked right through the hotel, like
Really?
right through everybody. And
You saw him?
Yeah,
Wow.
he walked
Big
right
guy?
through. Nah,
No?
these dudes are tiny dudes.
No.
They're tiny.
Well, they're tiny
Cowboy-
to you, not to me.
He's tall. Cowboy's tall, but man, they're just little dudes.
Scrawny?
Like, it's little
I mean,
dudes.
yeah.
Yeah, they're little dudes.
Well,
man.
I'm probably fatter than both of them, so it's
They're
okay.
not like Willie's. Like they're, Willie's a smaller guy. Like DB. They're not that big. They're like figure skaters, kind of.
What?
Yeah, they're skinny, dude. They weigh
got
like
ma-
140 pounds.
Yeah, they got to make weight.
Yeah, they don't look that big.
I look obese. Never mind.
They don't look that big. But man, I was disappointed in Conor McGregor. He was like all humble at the press conference. He was like, man,
You
know,
wanted to see a show, right?
Yeah, man, I stood in line. We stood in line for that. We wanted to see this dude talk.
You know why?
shit.
Because he got beat by Khabib. That's why.
No, it's because he doesn't want to go to jail, man.
He was,
think?
he was humble throughout the whole, even afterwards.
Yeah,
was
he was, man. It was like he's gonna lose a lot of money like that. Like he's sold this persona, and now he wants to be like Mr.
Roy's
Nice
on the
Guy.
stand. Damn it! Cause a scene.
Yeah,
damn
we're
it.
sitting there. I'm sitting there, dude. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna say something.
I thought they were
he's
at
gonna
first.
say something.
Then when they started saying that there was going to be blood and stuff like that.
Yeah, he
I thought
said
they
that.
were going to start, but
no, because Cowboy doesn't like to do that. Cowboy doesn't like to talk trash anyway. So the only thing he said was he's like, I can read him like a children's book.
I
that was
remember
pretty
watching
fun.
that shit.
But nothing else. He didn't say nothing else. He just kind of sat there and was like, yeah, he's a great guy and all that. I was like, man, people got up and started leaving out.
no,
Nobody wanted to see
it was
that.
free, right?
Yeah, it was free. People just,
But you got to meet Diego Sanchez.
yeah, I got to meet Diego
How was that guy?
Sanchez.
He was cool?
He was cool, man. He was taking pictures with everybody.
That's cool,
Kind
man.
of telling everybody thank you and all that stuff. So he was a cool dude, but
That's awesome.
it was a lot of people. I got to see Sugar Ray Leonard speak while I was there, and that was a nice like little speech. If I was playing football after that would have been a good like. He showed all his old fights and different stuff like that during
Got
the
you pumped
speech.
up?
Yeah, it was a nice little speech.
Bro
Get
was
you
about
pumped
to
up.
make a scene in the stands.
Yeah, man, I was fired up in there, man.
So 49
before we got killed.
Yeah.
But man, that was one of the best
Oh,
speeches
yeah.
that I
Barry
ever.
Switchers, man. That dude,
You guys met Barry Switzer, man?
yeah. That's the thing about football that's so good is you get the opportunity to meet and be in the presence of some good players and coaches. And it's just, we was fortunate enough to be at a place to hear him talk and motivate the teams. And obviously it didn't work, but
It worked right
But
then.
it
If
worked,
we would have
yeah.
played right then,
I
I think
think
it
it
would
would
have
have
been
been
better.
better,
But man, we got to play for Browse. We got to play for Coach Aranda. Congratulations, Coach
but
Aranda.
saw him
Baylor.
early today.
You saw him. He was out
Yeah,
today.
he was at the school today. That's just big time, I'm excited for that guy.
That boy took the Baylor job in his first stop, North Shore.
We was not the first stop. We was probably like down. I know he was all in Austin area the day before, but he came early in the morning, man. So it's like you said, you see a young coach. I can remember Coach Aranda probably was one of the youngest coaches on the staff back at the time at U of H.
Wow.
And, just to see him, travel through the profession from being, DC and
Gotta
so
start from the bottom.
He started from there, and he just was, journeying to the point that now he's the head coach of Baylor.
Yeah.
And just to see him and still to see him and talk to him, to see that he's the exact same person. He's a humble dude and he's a good dude, and I wish him nothing but luck. Just like any of the coaches that coached me in the past, I want to see them all succeed. So
Definitely.
Man, I sent Coach Browse an email and see if I get a response. I'm trying to get him.
He's normally pretty good about reaching back out. I haven't talked to him in a while, but normally when you hit Coach Browse up, he normally does a good job of hitting you back.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him to call in. I know he doesn't want to field any Baylor questions, so I'm gonna tell him like we ain't gonna talk about none of that foolishness.
We're not trying to do that.
Man, before you leave, we're gonna pick your brain too, because the ultimate goal for us is we got a lot of youth coaches out here that think they know a lot, but they don't know shit. And they, we get guys in here to help these guys, to help me too, to help us coach these kids, so we don't send you a bunch of kids who don't know anything as well. So, talk a little bit about like concepts and different stuff that you try to teach the kids when running that offense. That's a high-powered offense. You got high-powered players. How do you what are some of the things that you're teaching these kids that are helping them, to succeed? Because we see the quarterback, he's a great player, but this year it looks like he went from,
he's
a good player to like you should be the number one player in the nation type.
Yeah. Well, just starting off with the quarterback, and I think anytime you go from year to year of just the pure off just growth, you know what I'm saying? You just get more confident in a sense as a freshman, and I can see, him as a freshman looking at the sideline trying to get the plays, and it was just like,
you remember it?
It was just blowing his mind.
Wow.
And, that playbook went from like this big to where we had to scale things down and just say, look, these are the plays we're going to run. This is what you're going to have to get good at, and keeping it simple. So now that takes me into, the thing what, when you're starting off and you're installing the offense, you got to have an install plan. And we got a day 1 and day 2 and a day 3 install plan that we do. And we do that for about 2 weeks. It gets repetitive. You know what I'm saying? It gets a little boring sometimes, but
it's that bread and butter.
It's helping these kids learn your foundation of plays. Like if you know these plays, everything off of it, when we start getting to these other things on it, the tasks and some different things we can do, it's just going to build off that. So,
definitely.
When it comes to, coaches who's coaching little league kids, I think fundamentals is a big thing of teaching these guys how to tackle properly. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure they're in the right stance and just doing the things the right way, and then teaching them how to play the game. And if you're doing that, you're going to be all right. And to me, a lot of these coaches don't understand, these little league coaches. Just go to a coach's clinic, Go, sign up for a clinic. Those clinics are not just made just for coaches in the high school area. You can go sign up for it and be a part of it and get yourself knowledgeable of it. Because that's the good thing about this game is you can never stop learning and getting better at your craft. And, that's one thing we do as coaches is pick up the coach's brain. I sit here and I watch a lot of football, especially, and, I'm a big college fan, more of an NFL guy. I'm going to watch a lot of college football, and then I can see things that people are doing, and I'm like, man, we got, that's kind of what we do. I can add that in. I can incorporate that into my offense, and it's just stealing other people's ideas. It's a copycat. Football is a copycat league. It's a lot. You're allowed to cheat. You're allowed to see a guy do this play and be like, ooh, I like that play, so I'm gonna put that play in for myself. You know, and that's the biggest thing I like doing is watching football and trying to just see all the different offenses out there and seeing the different things people are doing, and it makes the game so much better. Just learning from each other and taking from each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and explaining why, well, this is kind of why I do it this way, this is why you probably do it that way, and being able to say, oh, yeah, I see it, and if you don't see it, you don't agree with it, don't do it, so it's easy.
So is this a question on here where somebody says, what's the difference between Amond and K, or is that something we typed on there? Looks like somebody. What's the difference between Amon and K? I think that's
Amon.
Amon, okay.
Difference between Amon and K, it's really not much difference. You got to think about it. Coach K, and he said this many times in most of his interviews you guys have seen, he gives Amon all the credit in the world. That's who he learned as a young coach from working his way up from my middle school ranks. He coached me in middle school to going all the way up to high school, you know. Coach Amon was a disciplined guy, and Coach K is all about discipline, you know. So I think those two are, you know, their own different coaches. But, you know, I think Coach K will tell you he learned so much from Coach Amon of day-to-day operations of running a football team, like your coach's coach, and doing those little things. You know, Amon he's fiery though. You know, Coach Amon can rip some butt with the best of them. He can get on you and make you shed a tear, you know, but he'll love you up at the same time. Coach K can get on you as well, and so I think Coach K, when I see Coach K, I see Amon inside Coach K, and I think, you know, me and Ben having the opportunity to get hired, you know, by Coach Amon to come into this profession of coaching, and Coach K giving me the opportunity to become an offense coordinator. You know, I work for both of those guys, and they're awesome.
How long you been back in North Shore, Coach?
I want to say this. I got there in 2008, so what's that, 12 years? Yeah.
Man.
So running that offense, being with North Shore, I know you've been there for a while, but now, do you ever feel any pressure? You ever get nervous?
No,
I mean,
you know, I think, you know,
maybe
the beauty,
before all these damn rings.
I know, right?
You know, the beauty about it, you know, of this job, you know, the pressure and the expectation of the community, and everybody wants to win championships every year. I mean, and sometimes that's just not truly feasible to do, you know. But as coaches, you know, as long as you're going out there, I know if I'm going out there and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to make us succeed, and, you know, and I'm coaching hard, and I'm preparing my guys and having my guys. I don't want the pressure, you know. I don't mind it, and at the end of the day, if it's bad and I know it's bad, I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, you didn't do a good job getting the kids ready to play. Wow. You know, I can sit there and look at some things, and you know, that's one thing about being an offense coordinator. Every play is not going to be a great play you call, you know, and everybody's going to probably have something to say about a play you did call. But, you know, at the end of the day, I know what I'm trying to get set up. I can tell you about just about every bad play call I done had and be like, man, that was a terrible call, you know. Yeah. You know it after you see, like, dang, why I call that, you know. But, you know, you got things going, you're thinking it's going to work, and that's why, you know, you watch the film, try to get them ready to go.
So without being modest, where do you rank yourself in the state as an offensive coordinator?
He's the state champ. He's number one.
Well, you know, Ben, you know, I'm a modest type of guy now. I'm a little bit different from back in the day. But if I, you know, at the end of the day, as a competitor, I'm always say I'm the best, you know, and that's what I want our kids to say. And I'm not going to sit here and say anything less than that. I can say I know there's a bunch of great offensive minds in this state of Texas, and I know I rank right up there with the top of the bunch, you know. And it's just not me, because, you know, what makes it is that's good. The good thing about football and the beauty of football is it's a team sport. So what makes me so good is the players that are playing for me. And also what makes me so good is my coaching staff. If you ain't got a great coaching staff and guys you can trust and help you come up with game plans and make sure their kids are coached up and can execute the game plan, well, that can all go for nothing. I can't coach everybody. You know, I can't coach the whole line. I can't coach the running backs and the quarterbacks. And, you know what I'm saying, the receivers, I got to make sure I'm focused on coaching my guys and letting those guys coach their guys. So I got a great team behind me, man. I got some coaches, some phenomenal coaches on the offense side of the ball that, you know, with those guys on my side, man, I feel like, yeah, our staff is the best. You know, I wouldn't trade any one of those guys away, because they're all different in their own way, and they all offer different things. And sometimes they might think I'm not hearing them, but I'm hearing them, and, you know, it's at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I gotta, you know, I still gotta make sure I'm making, you know, the right call for the overall team. But you got some guys on the staff that's, you know, do a great job of coaching, and they coach hard, and they make, you know, I'm only as good as those guys. So without them, I'm nothing.
That's good, man. How is it coaching with Coach K?
Oh, it's fun. It's like coaching. You know, I hate to say it like father figure, because I don't want to put his age like he's an old guy, but he's like more of an older bit brother. You know, he's a guy that, you know, offense side. So he lets me do my thing, and I like it. I can appreciate it. Just like any other head coach, though, every head coach have a favorite play that he'll like to call every once in a while, and Coach K has his, and it's funny hearing him saying it. So, but working with Coach K, it's been good, man, and working for Coach Amon was even good. I was a young coach learning how to coach the game. Thought I know, that's one thing as a young coach. Sometimes you think you know everything, but I wasn't nowhere near ready at some points to take over things I thought I was ready for. So, I waited my time, and I got my opportunity.
We're hearing some rumors about a big preseason game. Can you speak about that?
Man, right now we're all in the worst of just, of some games. We got red lineman coming up. I can speak on red lineman coming up here in February. So right now, it's some rumors out there. We the one thing I can tell you, we're going to go schedule the very best competition we can. That's one thing you got to give your hats off to Coach K is we're going to go find the best players, best teams to play, and we want to challenge ourselves. We're not going to look for just teams we can just beat. We want to, be challenged.
So I'm gonna say it. I didn't get it out of him, but they're saying that you guys are gonna play De La Salle from California.
I don't know, man.
Man, that'd be a big game.
Hey, that's a big game. I'd definitely be
I will be in attendance for that.
Front
game.
row seats. For
we
that
will
game.
we will host a show with the check down at that game.
At the game,
that'll be awesome.
That'll be awesome.
That would be a great game, huh?
I had.
It's just as I think a lot of people, and I'm not high school. Of course, I'm not a high school coach, but I know a lot of youth coaches are scared to play competition.
Yeah.
And the fact that you welcome it and that pressure doesn't get to you, and it seems like your whole coaching staff is like, you think it's pressure? We don't. Come on. And it's not necessarily a cocky thing. It's just we believe in the system that we have.
To play Katy, knowing that that's a possible team that you have to rematch, that could be a dangerous thing to do,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
That's a dangerous game because now they see what you're doing. They kind of see, they can
and that's the thing.
have a film the game.
It's kind of like you said, I don't like playing any team twice, but, hats off to Katy for wanting to play. You said youth coaches sometimes don't want to take that challenge and play a team because they think they might lose. That ain't just youth coaches. You got schools here in the high school area,
Really?
that, don't want to take that challenge on and challenge themselves. At the end of the day, it's a preseason game. So, we lost to Katy, it is what it is. In 2015, we was 1-3, and we ended up winning the state championship that year. So my thing is, if you ain't going out there to challenge yourselves, you ain't gonna know what kind of team you got. If you go out there and you just beating up on everybody and you don't see your mistakes and you can't really sometimes success can be a bad teacher, and the only way you can truly find out what kind of football team you got is going out there and challenge yourself and trying to play the very best teams. And that's why, you got to give teams like the Katys and even Westfield, Ridgepoint, people that wants to play you, that makes us better as a program, and it makes their program better. So at the end of the day, when you got teams that, I don't know if I want to play you, and then when they see you coming at you, they turn the other way, and it's sad because it's a preseason game. It's not like, hey, and I get it. Some people don't want that for their kids because they might not be ready for it, and I can understand that, and I'm not going to judge them on that. But some teams that are pretty good that they can should give you a good game, and it should be a good game. I don't want to play a game that I know I'm gonna win. That's not I want to play a game where, man, it goes back to what you guys were talking about with the pressure earlier. It's like, man, this game's gonna be a good game. The atmosphere is going to be good, So those type of games I want to coach in. Those type of games I like playing in.
So if y'all let me help any, this is the game I want to see. Shadow Creek. Hey, I want to see my boy. We were, in our locker room, everything was a competition when we played together, right? So for me to sit there and watch y'all sit on the sidelines against each other, coach against each other, and see the outcome of the game, that would be fun as a fan to watch all my old teammates and friends coaching play.
And it'll be fun for me because, like you said, when you got so many guys that you actually, went out there in the field and played with, and you get to go out there and compete against those guys, and we done built great relationships over the years. That'll be a fun game as well. Yeah. And who never knows? It might be in the worst. It might not be. We can only find out. So, but I know they got a good program, and those the type of games that not just the coaches want to play in. and want to see them play. The fans want to see games like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fans here in this Houston area just go to games that people don't realize that just go to games to watch kids play, and they have no kids at the game.
Yep.
And that's a good thing because that means, and that's letting you know the Houston area has good high school football that people are willing to go and watch at Katy North Shore, week 1, and then watching Katy North Shore back in week 13. Like, that's games.
And even more in attendance as well.
Yeah, so I think to me is when you get games like that, that's games that the community wants. It's games that the city wants. So
I personally spend every week in that damn Reliance Stadium during the playoffs. Like, I don't have a kid. I don't know any of the kids. Me and my kids sitting there for at least 2 games, on the weekend, and we just sit there and watch football. And, of course, they're out of it by the first quarter. And I'm telling them, man, look at this kid, look at that kid. And then you go and you find those kids, and you're like, oh, that's why that kid looked like that. He's the number 5 receiver in the nation. I went to watch, I don't know who it was, man. They had 3 6'4" receivers. It was like –
that's Tassita.
Tassita. They got 3 receivers that are 6'4", and it's like, dude, how
where are you getting these kids from?
Where do you get these kids from? Where do you get them? The 3 6'4" receivers, and they're just throwing the ball around the field. So it's like that's fun to watch, and it's good to see that. And have I like to keep my kids around. You say you're gonna be a football player, and the only way you're gonna learn football is watching football.
Yep.
So and seeing it,
which is something that's not happening as much as it was when I can remember, Saturdays for me after the workout from playing football, coming from the school, working out after the Friday night game, my Saturdays was dedicated to me watching college football.
Yep.
And I think the only way you can really, truly get better at this game is watching other people play football, watching the people play your position. I think that's part of the development right now that a lot of these kids are missing the boat on because a lot of them don't watch football. Like, they play Madden. They're not watching football, man, and it's just something to be said about going out there and watching the game of football.
I think so. When I was growing up, the Cowboy, I'm a Cowboys fan, so the Cowboys had the best offensive line in the world growing up. So every week I'm watching Larry Allen, I'm watching Nate Newton, I'm watching, Eric Williams. These are the people, Mark Stepnoski.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I watched on TV every week, and it wasn't, they talked about Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and all those people. So I know my Cowboys. I know all the linemen. So watch your mouth. They talked about those linemen too, right? They talked about those guys on a regular basis. Larry Allen, they don't rank him as high as I think they should. But
Agreed.
Larry Allen was a monster, and you grow up watching that dude, and then somebody tells you, hey, you play offensive line. So when I go out there to block, I'm like, I'm Larry Allen, right? You ask some of these kids to name an offensive lineman. Right now, go name an offensive lineman that the running backs can name a running back, the quarterbacks can name a quarterback, the receivers can name a receiver. We're going to ask these kids, who's the best offensive lineman in the NFL? Who's the best offensive lineman in college football?
Absolutely.
I gave my kids last year an assignment to go out and find who's the best offensive lineman in college, in high school, and then bring it back to me. And they brought me back different names, but you got to know who's the best at what you're doing. Do you feel that way in coaching, like that who are the guys that you kind of looked up to? Besides, you coached around some good head coaches, but
it's just I learned the offensive week. There's just so many good names out there. It's just starting in this high school area. We had a guy come in, Troy Rogers came in. He's the OC before me, and he did a good job in instilling the spread. I was an old school football tight end, 2-back, let's pound the rock and stuff like that. But now he brought that spread in and it worked out for us. And so he changed my whole philosophy of the game of spreading it out, and I learned from him and was able to build on it from there. And then you just look around college, you start looking at what the OC Sean Elliott did out there for Clemson, Brady and Eansminger at LSU, Kendall Browse, those type of guys, and just learning,
names,
what I'm saying, learning and seeing those guys how they move. I can remember when I first got it, and I got the OC job. I shot out to Baylor, went down there and looked at Browse them stuff and just tried to make sure that I was doing it right, because I'm gonna get my first shot, and at the end of the day, you don't get too many opportunities to do this, And I'm not trying to bring in the whole race deal, but you get one opportunity sometimes, and that's you got to make the most of it, and
it's got to be. You got to be realistic, man. We're not gonna hide it. It's not. The NFL has a Rooney Rule for a reason.
So, in this profession, I'm blessed, and I'm fortunate to be where I'm at. But it's a bunch of guys out there that do a good job, and I think attached to the offense, Coach Stump over there, he runs their offense. They do a good job on their offensive scheme, and I just like watching people, and that's one thing I do. I look at, when we trade film, I look at the other team's offense and seeing what they're doing and seeing, if they're doing things that I kind of like. And at the end of the day, man, my mind is always going through, especially in the fall. Like I can be watching film and we're getting ready for a game and we're watching film with the kids, and all of a sudden it's Wednesday. I see something on tape like, oh, I like this, and I stop and I write it down and I install it that day, the next day, and walk through, and it'll be a good play. Another guy that's retired from the game is Coach Olin. I call him like the godfather of spread. Every time I see Coach Olin, he has a football play for me. Hey, this will be the last one. If you don't run it, I'm not giving you no more. Every time I see him, he always has a play. He's writing it up on a napkin, and he's like, this is gonna be a good play. And most of the time, I didn't run some of his plays, but he gave me a play, man, which was a big-time play for us, and we ended up running it. We installed it on a Thursday. We played that Saturday. So
y'all score on it?
Yes, we scored on it.
Wow.
And, I texted him after the game, say, hey, Coach, I finally ran the play, and he was excited. Coach Olin he did a good job. He used to be the head coach at Baytown Lee. His son is Drew Tate.
Okay.
So he knows good football. So you got a guy like that come around. It's always good to see the older coaches that retired. They love coming around just watching ball.
Yeah.
So he gave us a good play, and like I said, we installed it that Thursday, and it was something that kind of fit in our scheme. So it wasn't like we had to do a whole lot of coaching on it. Yeah. But we ran it. We should have scored on it twice. One the kid dropped, the other one the kid caught. So it was a good play.
So after winning back-to-back state championships, the underclassmen that are coming up to fill those roles, or the seniors that are obviously leaving for college or just for graduation, how do you keep them motivated?
Well, first of all, you got to be real honest with them. That 2019 and that 2018 team was the team that won state. You guys didn't win anything. So, and if you want to leave your legacy here at the school, you got to start working on it, and it ain't just going to be given to you. And I think sometimes we live in a world sometimes where people feel like they're entitled to things, they don't have to earn things. And our job as coaches is to bring them back to reality and let them know you got to earn this. It's not going to just be your spot, I can sit here and tell you, hey, D's going to have to battle it out for the number one spot. No, he's earned that, and it's the title. He earned it from his field of play and the things he do every day. So it's not like D's going to stop working. He's going to be at work every day, working just as hard, so I don't have to worry about that with him. But with some of these younger guys, you just got to let them know, hey, you got an opportunity to step up. You can have a role, and you can do something special to help this school continue to build on this tradition. So I think you just let them know up top that they didn't earn it. The last year team earned it. We got a new year. We got to go to work. It's chop wood, carry water, and that's what they got to do. And
Go make your mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave your legacy on the school. Don't be I think one thing you start noticing is most senior class don't want to be that senior class that failed.
Didn't live up to that.
That didn't live up to it, and I think sometimes and that pressure on it, on these kids, sometimes some kids can't handle that type of pressure.
Yep.
Some can thrive in it. So I think our job as coaches is we don't talk about winning state titles. We truly don't, and I think. Some coaches can't believe it when they do get hired on North Shore. Like, y'all don't talk about winning state. No, we don't talk about it. Like Coach K, that doesn't come out of Coach K's mouth of, we got to win a state title. Or, what comes out of his mouth is, we got to be better. We got to get better every day. All right? And that's the thing as assistant coaches, we got to preach his message. And that's what I think we're doing a good job as it is teaching the new coaches when they do come in, hey, look here, we don't talk about, hey, we got to win a state title. We're going to talk about how can we get better, how can we continue to build on the little things to help us win. We had coaches back in the day, Coach McGay used to talk about get a small win. All right. If you get a bunch of small wins, at the end of the day, you're gonna cash those small wins in for a big win. So that's the biggest thing I try to tell our kids is let's get a small win today. Did you get that small win today, and did you do the little things to get better? And I think you'll be fine. And so that's our job, is to motivate these guys to understand that we're not worried about winning a state title. We can't win a state title tomorrow. You know, we can get better tomorrow, but we can't win a state title tomorrow. So that's the thing.
Wow.
So we got a question for you on the page, Willie. Does the Madison game still cross your mind?
Oh, every day, you know. I get probably asked about the Madison game all the time, just at random times. And I think, you know, one thing, and I was just talking about this with one of my old high school teammates who also work in North Shore, Stephen James, about that, you know, just talking about the little thing is, and Stephen was fortunate enough to win the state title in high school. You know, one of the things as you get older, I'm fortunate enough to win a couple state titles as a coach, but, you know, I would have really much rather have one as a player as well. I just think, I know you have a couple of those on your resume, Swan, and you know, it's just something special about being with a bunch of guys playing the game for the right reasons, not worrying about this and that, and just going out there having fun and representing your community. I would have loved to brought a state title back in that day. And, you know, the Madison game was an unbelievable game. It was probably one of the first games I played in front of where you had 20,000+ people at a high school game, which it was crazy. So I enjoyed it.
Take a turn real quick. So, you know, in my time in high school, Texas City was a big time school, you know, so we would play again in front of that many people. And then I come to U of H. Like, so I try to tell, like, a message I try to get to these kids, you know, about losing and winning. Like, you could easily go from being the best team in the world, like being, you know, this top team, to getting, you know, to not winning a lot and not playing in front of a lot of people, because some of those kids are going big D1, right? You know, quarterback, running back, receiver, those kids are going, well, most of the other kids right now are going big D1, and some of those kids are not going to go. Some of those kids are going to smaller schools, and it's not going to be like North Shore. Like, what message do you give to those kids? Because nobody gave me that message. Nobody told me, hey, man, you about to go to Houston, and you just played in the Astrodome in front of 20,000 people, or you just played in Texas Stadium in front of 20,000 people. There might be 5,000 people at your first game at U of A. You know, that was a big transition for me to walk out of that tunnel and see nobody. Yeah. Nobody wanted to see you play. So, is that something that you ever communicate with?
Honestly, I never communicated in there, and I think that's some, you know, that's good stuff right there. Just you bringing that up, just thinking about it, because, you know, I can remember being at U of H and first getting there, I'm like, where's everybody at? You know, and part of you wants to help try to change that culture, and I think we did a good job of helping getting some of the things going. And I can remember seeing the stands slowly but surely starting to fill up over our time there. But, you know, a lot of these kids, and just to take it a step further, is a lot of these kids are going to go play at a place where the facilities is not going to be as good as their high school facilities. You know, in the state of Texas, high school facilities are pretty good. Yeah. And, you know, and so sometimes they can just go there. But my thing is, if you truly love playing the game and you want to play the game, you're not playing it because of the people in the stands. Yep. You're truly going to go out there and play because this is what you chose to do and this is what you wanted to do. Because I tell you right now, there's a place for football just for about just every player if they truly want to play at the high school.
Absolutely.
You know, I know everybody's got to go say they got to play D1. They got to play, you know, Power 5 D1 at that. Some people don't want – they look down and think they can't go play Group of 5. They look down on that thinking that's a failure. Man, my thing is anytime you got anybody that wants to pay for you to go to school, that is a win. That is a plus. Yeah. And you know, you should be excited about it. So my thing will be to them is if you truly want to play, it doesn't matter about how many people's in the stand. You got an opportunity to play this game. Most important, you got an opportunity to go get your education.
Yeah. Free education at that.
I think it's to me, it's the parents, right? You know, I played D1 football. I don't promote to my sons that the end-all, be-all is D1 football.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I don't promote that to them. I promote, like, I don't care who it is. If somebody's going to pay you to play football, pay you to go to school and get a degree and play football, hopefully you get some D1 offers. But if you don't, you know, if you're not at Alabama, it doesn't matter. You know, whoever's giving you a scholarship. You know, there's people that go from the SWAC to the NFL every day, right? Yeah. So I think we got to get a lot of these parents to stop promoting that D1 football is the end all be. You work like a D1 athlete.
Yeah.
You throughout the time you're playing, you work like you're gonna go D1. But when the offers come in, it's not always that your talent is not D1 level.
I just think it's it's some of the things like it's just so hard to get these scholarships, man. And you got to think about it. It's a lot of people competing for especially in a Power 5 D1. It's not that many scholarships out there. There's a lot of people in this United States of America is competing for those spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you got to add now they got the transfer portal. Now you got to compete against those guys. So you got high school kids competing against the junior college guys as well, the guys that's in the transfer portal, and then the guys that's already in their same age group.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of spots. So if you get one of those spots, you should be. It's a blessing. And if you don't get one of those spots, like you said, it's not the end of the world. It's other places where you can go and play this great game. That's the beauty of this game of football. I don't know what the number is, but I know it's ridiculous. The amount of colleges out there playing football, it's unbelievable, and it's always people looking for people to play.
Yeah.
But it's like you said. I think as a parent, your number one goal for your kids should be go to college and get an education and do all that. But if you so happen to be able to play football, that's the bonus of it. I think that's what people understand. This is still an extracurricular activity. This is the biggest thing is most people and I probably was young and didn't really think about it, but it's called student athlete for a reason, and that the important thing is to go to school and get an education.
So how was it playing in the NFL? How did being an NFL cornerback I guess structure or get your play calling the way it is or to where it is now? Did it have any effect on it?
I don't really think it was so much being an NFL guy or a cornerback. I think it was so much of being a guy that's been a defensive guy.
Okay.
I started off as a high school quarterback and then go to college and I played defense and just the more and more I got on defense and the more and more I understood the defense of the things. I think that kind of helped me. And when I got back to North Shore as a coach, as a freshman coach, I was a defensive guy, and when I got moved over to offense, I really didn't want to go do offense. Coach Amon said, hey, I want to bring you in on offense. We want to get younger. I need your energy on offense. So he told me to come coach running backs. And it was me, my personal opinion at that time, I wanted to go be a varsity defensive back coach.
Yeah.
But so when he asked me to come do running backs, it was kind of like, oh, all right. But it worked out great for me, and God has a better plan for you. So
of course.
So when I got over there on offense, I became like, man, I kind of like this offense, and then I would sit there and I would learn from. I had older guys that was real smart. They knew their stuff, and learn from them. And I'll try to interject some things right here, things I know, that can attack a certain coverage. So I just think my background of being on defense has helped me as an offensive play caller. And, I challenge guys all the time, and it just goes the same way. There's a bunch of good defense coordinators I guarantee you can come be an offense coordinator and be good at it.
Yeah.
Because they know defense. And if I'm a guy who has to give advice to a young coach, if you want to be an offense coordinator one day, I challenge you to go coach defense. Go learn defense. Understand defense. Same thing, I think, some people, if you want to be a good defense coordinator, you come be on the offense side of the ball and try to see what offenses are thinking when they're trying to attack you on things. So
I think Barone was like that. Barone made you think like a defensive. Like Barone would sit in the meeting and make us identify the coverages. We would rewind the film over and over till somebody in the room could identify what the coverage was. Now that's the offensive line meeting room, right? So he's taking it to a step that, most of the time when you're playing offensive line, you don't even see the corner. I don't even see y'all out there. I don't even know y'all are on the field until y'all make a play. All you see is the front, the front
and
set.
that's why Coach Barone's coaching, and he's a good coach, and he was a great coach with U of H. If you think about it as an old lineman, right? If I'm looking at the coverage and the leverage of these linebackers, that D lineman's telling me right now where he has to go.
Yep.
There's only a couple of things they can do. Unless they bring that backer inside, well, then he'll stun out. But you start seeing safeties roll here. Okay, if that safety's rolling here, well, they ain't gonna have two people in the D gap. Yep. Somebody's got to fit the C. So that move. D end, he might be in that 5 technique right there. He's gonna probably be in that B gap. He's gonna get up in those gaps. And so my thing is this. and I think that's where I think our O-line coach does a good job is making these guys identify and and I think that's where I come in when I tell these guys, when I'm helping our guys out is, man, just all you got to do is look at these guys. When I'm telling D is, where's this guy at? You know if he's outside, all right, what is that? And we're running zone read. Guess who's going to take the running back? That DN's got to take the running back. That linebacker's out there hip, so he ain't going to be able to fit in that B gap. So it's things like that as you can teach these players to get smart about the game is.
Let me write that down real quick.
The smarter you are, when you start knowing that stuff, it makes it easy for you as an offensive player.
Definitely. When I'm watching the game now, but see this is the issue we deal with on the youth level, man. Everybody piles the box up, and they just send people everywhere. It's frustrating sometimes because me trying to teach the linemen the correct steps and all of that stuff.
It's not sound.
It's not real football. And these guys that teach it, they think I stopped you. I'm doing a great job. You're actually doing a terrible job. You're teaching all of the linebackers don't learn anything but to blitz. The D linemen don't learn it. They don't learn how to shed blocks. They just learn how to try to penetrate and
I think a great rule for youth football, and it should be just a good rule, is if you're going to line up and you're saying you're a 4-3 defense, you got to line up in a pretty 4-3. If you're going to line up and say you're a 3-4 defense, you got to line up in a pretty 3-4 defense. Now, you can, if you want to blitz, I think you can only give you 3 blitzes a quarter. Teach them how to play the game, because it ain't all about just throwing a blitz. Ain't too many teams that's going to blitz every play, right? If you blitzing every play, that means you're playing man-to-man. You better have some good corners out there.
Yeah, but because you got 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, they can't throw the ball.
They can't throw the ball,
so
and it makes it hard on you. And I understand that. And to me, even if you just said we're going to do it with the 8-year-olds, let's line them up, teach them how to run to the ball. Let's teach these guys how to shoot their hands as D linemen. Let's make sure our O linemen are taking proper, steps, because right there, you're getting kids blitzing off both edges. You're going to get somebody hurt, and that's the thing. We're trying to make this game better is make it safe, right? So my thing is if we're talking about doing it right, we got to start at the youth level all the way up. So to me right there is, as an 8-year-old, let's not line them all up on the line of scrimmage and let this poor kid get killed on a toss.
We call it engage 8. You remember that Madden defense where all the
I still run that
lines,
sometimes.
everybody's going. We call it engage 8. This year I seen engage 10.
Yeah.
Basically a damn punt block, dude.
Yeah.
It's one safety, everybody else blitzing.
That's how it is though now.
Dude, to me, it makes me cringe on the sideline because it's like everything I'm teaching these offensive linemen, they have to abandon. Yeah. Right, they have to abandon it because they're just trying to hurry up and get on.
Right there is, all right, let me bring in a tight end. Y'all ain't got tight ends.
We got tight ends.
Oh, they all do? Okay. Well, you got to bring in some tight ends and just say, hey, everybody base block. That's really what it becomes down to.
It turns into that, man.
Maybe you can teach them a little down pull kick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ready for that.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not gonna pat myself on the back, but my group, we next level, man.
So we're running some gas.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The reason they're next level is they're grown ass men. That's why. These kids. Well, I'm not. It's not anything to beat my chest on, but I mean, their kids are way bigger than me. It's not even fair. And the reason they won that trophy right there is because they were playing with grown men. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's the final comment on it. I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, so this week, speaking of that,
I'm just messing.
we had one kid that didn't play against y'all. His back's been hurting. His name's Castillo. Castillo, he looks like he's about 5'7", 5'6".
He's just throwing it in my face now.
This dude is, but he's not big. He's just tall. So we went out there, and man, this dude, he's the strongest kid. One of the strongest kids I've ever seen. He's just mangling people. First quarter ends, the tournament director comes up to me. He's like, hey, what's that kid number 36's name? I'm like, Castillo. He's like, man, they're saying he's supposed to be 11-year-old, playing with the 11-year-olds. And I'm like, go check the book. That's how good that kid is at blocking and doing all that stuff.
Where's he from? What team?
Pearland Hurricanes.
He's from the
yeah, he plays for me.
Oh, a big boy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he plays for us. So, man, we deal with that a lot because I do get a lot of linemen that want to come play for me because, I coach linemen.
Because they're learning things. That's why.
And that's good, man. You got to keep doing that. And like I say, if you teach them the fundamentals of football, you're developing good players for some of these high school coaches one day in the Pearland area or wherever that kid might play.
Man, that's why I tell these parents, like, stick with me. Not because I'm going to do I'm the best coach, but I'm gonna not let your kid go play for a Joe Schmo. I know too many people, right? I know too many people around here to where if you want to go play for a good coach, I can find you one somewhere on that staff. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like
not running Gauge 8.
Not Dobie. I live by Dobie right now, so Dobie's building up a good foundation. It sucks that they got to play against. They ought to tell about 500 kids to go somewhere else so they can drop down the class.
Dobie, man, that's a good coaching staff, man. They do a good job over there. Beneath the, he's doing that old wing tee type of stuff, so he does a good job with his offensive scheme. I personally wouldn't want to coach in it, but I think he does a real good job in it, and they're doing a good job. So,
but it's tough. They got to deal with y'all. It's like. I guess it's the same for y'all though. So they don't get any breaks. They don't get any. Nobody cares. No, no sympathy. No sympathy, man.
It's not, and I'm pretty sure that coach, he probably would want to, win the district, so he wouldn't have to deal with it. But sometimes when you're in the district, you got to take care of your business in the district, not to play that.
They have to deal with y'all. If they would have won the district, it's just when they had to deal with y'all. They had to deal with y'all
you
first.
You're going to see us one way or another. It wouldn't have been the first round.
There's no way out of that trap. Like you want to deal with us week 1 or week 3? It just get your.
It's coming one way or another.
It's coming. That's a tough.
And that's kind of like how I used to feel about Katie. Like, man, we got to go play Katie hard. So you know what you're gonna get out of it, and you got to welcome that challenge.
Yeah, you got to be ready for it.
Coach Joseph does a great job. Running the defense over there. They play good on defense, man.
That looked like a damn college football game when I watched. Like if I didn't know, if I was from out of town and I just accidentally ended up at the NRG that day, I wouldn't have thought that. These are two high school teams playing.
Both of them, they got some good looking kids. We got some good looking kids. It's just, and I don't want to hear, well, Katie don't have D1s. Katie's been having D1s for the last couple of years. They just got tough, hard kids. No, they got some D1 kids over there that can play. Let's not kid ourselves.
Hey, Coach Freddie Patton.
Mm-hmm.
He asked. Well,
we already asked him.
Freddie. Yeah. Well, yeah. That was just.
He's not giving up anything on that just yet.
He said, "What's up, though?"
Yeah.
He's asking about the Cali team. He's asking, are y'all playing the Cali?
He's getting pumped over there. Right? That was just a suggestion.
Yeah.
That was from Roy. That was just a suggestion.
Hey, look, man, I'm here to break any breaking news we can get. If Willie's going to bring some it's hard for me to call him Willie because that's not what I call him, and I'm having to force myself to call him. I'm having to force myself to say Willie over and over again.
That's why I'm saying Roy right now. Same thing. It's like, man.
Yeah, man.
We grew up calling each other by our nicknames, so it's like we got to be a little professional.
It's like every time I get the W, I'm like, Willie. But, man, I think so shifting the topics a little bit, man. Have you watched that Hernandez documentary?
Yeah, me and my wife watched it. It's unfortunate for both sides. So, it's a sad situation. It's one of those deals where I don't know what more could have been done to prevent any of it, but it's one of those things, man. You feel bad for everybody that was all involved in that.
It's tough, right? Because you want to feel bad for Hernandez too. Like I feel bad for him, but then when you start thinking about it, you're like, can I really feel like can I really feel? It's a tough situation because this dude
he needed help.
He
absolutely.
had everything, and when you're listening to his phone conversations on the phone, it's kind of creepy because the dude is like, I feel the same in here as I felt.
Yeah.
It feels the same.
It's like he felt like he belonged there or something.
Yeah, he doesn't feel. And then you watch him on the stand, or when he's sitting there watching, he just got the same look on his face. Dude's like, yeah, man, I'm riding in the car and I wake up and he's got a gun pointed to my head, and he doesn't.
You think that's true? You think that's true?
The only thing I don't think is true is the homosexual stuff that the quarterback dude was saying. They were too excited to get on TV and say that. Like, I got sons, dude. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be jumping in front of no TV saying, yeah, man, my son's gay, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not, nothing against anybody who's doing that, right? But as a father, I can't see myself jumping out there and, using that for some kind of
platform.
you know, especially with somebody who's dead. If you were gonna say that, you're gonna announce that, you should announce that
Long time ago.
Long time ago, dude. Don't come up here and wait till the dude's dead. You know, whether it's true or not, don't come up here and wait till the dude's dead to get you and your dad in there and say all of this stuff about him. You know, so that's the only part that I didn't think was true. I really personally think he did it all. Like, it just.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just a sad situation, man. It's just one of those deals where you just, like you said, wish he had some help, or, you know, hopefully that if anybody truly knew all the stuff he was going through, should have intervened and tried to get him some help. And it's just sad that it's to the point where, you know, all the lives that were lost.
Yeah.
Because of this, you know, because of him, or if it wasn't him, you know, like I said, none of us was there. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on something where I truly don't have all of, you know, I watched the documentary, you know, that's also made to sell stuff. So I don't really know. I have my own, my judgment, opinion about it, but I just think, you know, it's one of those deals you really wish that somebody would have helped that young man out and just guided him. And it seemed like, you know, he didn't have somebody he could really, truly depend on. You would have thought maybe it was his brother or somebody, you know. Big brother. It's just like I said, it's just sad, man. And it's unfortunate that, you know, a lot of people lost their lives because of just who knows, nonsense. It really could have been truly nonsense, you know, but
the one thing that kind of stands out to me is, like, at the end of it, if y'all watched, y'all probably put us on mute. Gully says, Swan and Wank, what's up, man? Well,
what's up, Gully?
So at the end of it, he hangs himself or whatever, and it's like he knows this rule that if I die, because in his suicide note, he's like, you're rich. So he knows, like, he's not. Well, he's not as crazy as you think.
That's a rule that everybody kind of in that jail system already knows about. That been in the Boston jail system is, which I get the rule. I guess you can't defend yourself if you're dead, so the charges are dropped. That's the bottom line of the rule. So I think that's a rule he learned by being up in there from other inmates.
Yeah.
But like you said, he knew enough to do that. And, you know, again, it's just like I said, it's a sad situation that, you know, it even had to get to that. You know what I'm saying? And it just lets you know, most people think just because you get money and stuff like that, fame and all that stuff, well, everything's all right, you know. But at the end of the day, he's human. We're all human, and we all go through our own things, and we all handle our own things different ways. Some people can handle it, some people can't handle it, and money don't make you any smarter, right? Just because you're rich don't make you no smarter or make you any better than anybody else. It's just he obviously didn't reach out to get help himself, you know. Nah. So that's another thing.
He had a crazy family dynamic, different stuff, and it seems like, you know, it doesn't seem like he ever lived the life of an NFL, you know, player. He didn't. He was, you know, some of the people in the locker room say he was separate from the team, but we were talking about. Now we're talking about him. A few weeks ago, we were talking about what's the dang receiver's name? I keep forgetting his name.
Antonio Bryant.
Well, we're gonna add him to the group, but the other one, the one who keeps failing drug tests.
Oh yeah, the kid out of
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Yeah. So you got all of these dudes, and look at the talent. You know, look at the talent. Like the stuff I saw from Antonio Brown the other day. I'm like, dude,
what's going on with you, man?
Like 2 years ago, you were, the top receiver in the NFL. You know, on one of the top teams in the NFL, and now you're just a clown. Like, is it? You know, I don't want to think. I joke with some of my people, you know, sometimes at work, like when I forget something, like, oh, my CTE's acting up. You know what I'm saying? That's a joke for me, but it's serious for a lot of people. But does this dude have, like, you know, is something wrong?
Beginning stages of it.
Yeah, and if something's wrong with him, who's there to help him? Who needs to step in? Obviously, his family's not, you know.
It's like they don't want to have anything to do with him. It's what it looks like outside the
game.
Well, we talked earlier about the CTE. I was trying to get his thoughts on it. You want to?
Yeah, my thing is it's just so hard because you know, just to bring up those guys, and you know, you can offer help, and who knows, there might be all kinds of people offering to help this guy, but sometimes if you ain't accepting it, that's on you. You know, you can't force a grown man to go do something if he's not willing to do. You know, it's just a sad situation. I know people, you know, I joke around with it too about my CTE, but at the end of the day, you know, everybody tries to blame CTE sometimes. To me, I think it's more of a cop out sometimes. You know, I'm not sitting there saying the NFL or just playing football doesn't. You know, I guess what I'm looking for is it's not the only reason why people have CTE. You know, it's going to be a bunch of soccer players out there one day that's going to have CTE.
Boxers.
You know, you get more concussions playing soccer than you really do playing football. And the studies and the facts have proven and shown that. You know, again, like I was saying earlier, is we're on a platform here in the United States where football is held on a high pedestal and everybody loves the game of football. Well, you can attack and, well, by playing this game, it's going to prevent CTE. It's a dangerous game. Well, we know all that. Well, playing soccer, you can also get it because you can get hit blows to the head. Anytime you get a blow to the head in any sport, it's not good for you. But I'm not saying that, you know, and then people has got to come up with their own opinion if they want their kids to play the sport or not. Because I understand the reality of the danger of the sport is we all know the dangers and the risk of it, right?
You know who had CTE? Rocky Balboa had CTE. He did, man.
Yeah, I know.
He clearly took.
That's why I told him earlier. I was like, people are not even talking about boxers, soccer players.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball. You take a
fastball to the head.
Take a fastball head. You have a high risk of getting killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
usually a concussion right away if you get hit by a fastball.
Yeah.
There was something on the radio this morning, and let's talk about this. This is a good topic, just a little bit off subject. Okay, so 2 kids wrestling, right? The young kids. One kid slams the other kid on his head. The parent jumps out of the bleachers and goes and tackles. The kid. What do you feel about that? What do y'all feel?
I mean,
Your son is the kid that slammed the other kid on the head.
Here's the thing. Did you not think your son might have an opportunity one day against Slam in the wrestling ring? You signed him up. So when you signed him up, you know what you signed him up for. At some point, like, it's like you knew at some point that he was going to probably lose a match or get slammed. Yeah. At the end of the day, that's wrestling. So I would never condone a parent in any sport
touching
another kid, or just coming out there on the field. Period.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you got to let your kid grow up, too, a little bit.
These parents, man, they soft as wet toilet paper. I'm telling you, like, parents are soft out here, dude.
But to me, I would never condone a parent running out there and putting their hands on I'm pretty sure, I don't know the age of the kids, but you just don't do that. You don't put your hand on another kid's child. You just don't run out there and do that because that's it's a competition they're doing.
Yeah.
You know they're being competitive. So I don't think this kid had any ill intention of trying to hurt your kid. He's trying to win. He's trying to win a wrestling match. So I don't think, you know, it's just something. It's just like, I guess when it's like when you wake up in the morning and you get ready to go to work. At some point throughout the day, you got to work, right?
Yeah.
So at some point in that wrestling match, your kid one day is gonna have to, you know, he's probably gonna get slammed pretty hard, and you ain't gonna like it. But you know what you're supposed to be up there cheering him on. Come on, let's go.
Get up.
Hey, he not strong enough to. Give him do some push-ups. So work harder. But
I just
they're lucky the other parent on the other side. Like they're lucky. He attacked the right kid, right? Because there's probably 100 scenarios where that ends up. And I can imagine myself sitting in the bleachers. My son slams somebody on the head, and a grown man runs out there and attacks him.
You
got what I'm saying? Now it's not. It's a
ugly situation.
Yeah,
it's an ugly situation.
A world star.
And that's why I feel like at the end of the day, as a fan, your responsibility as a fan is to be a fan and sit in the stands.
Well, right? Take your damn kid out of it. Once my kid got slammed on the neck, if I couldn't accept that,
he don't need to do it anymore.
Let's go, man. You are terrible at this. Let's go home because you suck at this. Yeah. Not that the other kid. It's not the other kid's fault that my kid sucks at it. Right?
We just put my daughter in boxing.
Yeah, I've been seeing it.
I've had some of my buddies like, man, what are you gonna do when she gets hit? I'm like, tell her don't get hit. If she gets knocked down, get your ass up and let's keep going.
Man, so my kids were in karate for a while and they fought in 2 competitions. That was way more nerve-wracking than football ever was.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
it's a possibility they might get knocked out.
It's a possibility that you're going to be somebody else's son is beating up your son. And you and they're over there cheering, yeah. Luckily, my sons won both of their matches, and we hurry up and got out of that undefeated. We got unblemished records.
But again, as a parent, you know yourself, and you know if you can't handle something like that. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to handle watching my kids get in a fight and be like, So you know what?
Yeah.
My kids won't do that.
Yep, that's exactly. We
So-
did karate for 3 straight years, dude. And then a part of the advancing belts and all of that was they had to fight other people. And it,
Competition.
when it started to get to the point
It's
where,
all good until you get a roundhouse to the face.
yeah, and they were kicking and they were,
Yeah.
it wasn't, I'll tag you in the Facebook videos of them fighting, but it was like, I can't handle this. Because the other part about it is when somebody's cheering a good football play, it's like 22 people on the field. They're not cheering directly against your kid.
Yeah.
When somebody's cheering on a fight, they're just cheering that your son just got punched in the face.
Yeah.
And then you don't know if that's fucking the karate kid over there. So you can't even do nothing, right? You can't walk over there and be like, hey, that fucking Bruce Lee be over there. And you get your ass kicked, you and your kid both got your ass kicked in the same day. Now you can't tell your kid to clean his room. See, that's all bad, man. That's all. Nothing's good about that situation. So I told I said, look, we're gonna go do something. Y'all can do track. Y'all can be in the chess club. We're not fighting.
Yeah.
Y'all can practice fighting, and we're not doing this. I'm not sitting in the bleachers and watching. I'm not watching this junk. Yeah. But Robert, what do you think, man? How Jaren's wrestling other kids, slams him on his head.
I mean,
As a parent, what do you do?
if Jaren got slammed or he did the slamming,
Jaren got slammed.
I mean, the main thing I'm not going to want him to do is start crying. And if that's the case, we either need to compete more, get better. If not, if you can't handle it, then we need to try something else. Because that's the way I am.
Yeah,
It's just
it's tough, man.
the way it is. Like,
you got like-minded people in here. I want anybody out there who is watching that feels like they would go and jump in that. Please call in and give us a valid reason why you think that it would be okay to have you and your son jump another kid. Like I want to know what the valid reason is.
No valid.
I don't even know if I want to take that
I
call.
don't think there's no valid reason.
I want to hear it. The dude on the radio. So on the radio station I listened to, there was 5 callers. 4 of them said that they would jump in. One of the hosts said it, and 4 callers said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go jump." Dude, y'all don't understand. Like, I'm pretty sure you deal with parents, but dealing with these parents, man, these parents are crazy. They're lunatics. Some of the stuff they say to you, we go and lose the Super Bowl game, and none of them come up to you and like, "Hey, man, thank you. We won the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl."
No, they're pissed.
You're pouring everything you got into these kids. Missing spending time with your kids. Like this weekend, I went to Far, Texas. My daughter performed at the Rockets game, and she also had a cheer competition that I missed. Dealing with other people's kids, and not saying that those people are ungrateful, but for a lot of these parents, they're just ungrateful people. They don't understand. We're not getting paid for this. This is not our job. This is like a volunteer thing. After the Super Bowl, man, these people are walking up to us and complaining to us. Dude, I just did this shit for 6 months. And we just lost. It's either thank you or get out of my face. Those are the 2 things. Like, because another thing is they forget, a lot of these people don't understand who you are. I'm Coach Roy, man. I'm a nice guy. I'm going to be nice in front of his kids. But if you push my buttons too much, there's another person inside of me that's not nice. And, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want him to be out here at these youth games. You know what I'm saying? So, man,
I heard you talking shit to that ref in San Marcos. The first game we were playing, kept going on and on and on. I'm just looking at you watching. I was like, you don't act like that all the time in front of anybody. It's over there on the sideline though.
Yeah, when so I was even worse in Far, but in the middle of a football game, dude, I just feel like those dudes, and this is me, stuff that they would say to me, they would never say to you, right? On the sideline, because they know that if you give a bad report, they're not going to the playoffs. They're not, if they're bad refs, right? If they're bad refs in general, they're not going to get the ref to playoffs. They might talk a little bit, but the way they try to handle us is like we're beneath them. And I can't take that. Like, I just can't take it whatsoever. All I want is a fair shake, and you're not going to talk to me like, you're somebody of importance. You're just a ref. You know what I'm saying? You're just a guy out here doing work. You're the only one getting paid out here. Like, the rest of us are volunteers. So you have a job to do. Like, you're here to make sure the kids are safe, point blank period. You make sure the game is played right. You're really here as an extension of us to teach the game, in my opinion, right? You should be teaching these kids the right way to play the game. So making all of these crazy bad calls and these terrible calls is not your job, man. Your job is to help us teach these kids. And I think these refs, they're like out here to get a check. They're out here to get this money. And they're like, well, you dudes are nobodies.
Yeah,
you know, you guys are nobodies. Like, you know, I've worked hard in my life to be successful in my real life. So, dude, you're not going to treat me like I'm a nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to treat me like I don't know this game. I know the game just like you know it. I just didn't choose to go, you know, and pursue that career. So, no, I'm not letting them.
You guys ever have that problem? Fridays, Saturdays?
No, not so much, man. You know, I guess you have some of your refs. Everybody's gonna make a bad call, and you might not like stuff like that. But the best thing for me is I'm in the press box when I call the game because you know, it's been some times where you see some calls in that I probably would have acted a certain way, but you know, I get it. It's like a catch-22. It's a job that some people really don't want, but it's a job that everybody kind of sometimes complain about it. So that's why they don't want it. It's like if you get people that go at these guys and they can, because, you know, they got other jobs too. This is just something they do on the side to make their extra money, or this is something they truly want to do. Some of these guys are just so really like embedded in trying to do this and try to get up just like any high school coach is trying to work up to get to college, right? They trying to get there. The high school guys are trying to go rep the college guys in college, and then the college guys are trying to go rep the NFL games. So it's just like anything in the profession. Everybody's trying to grow. So my biggest thing with it, you know, I have been a part of some games where the officiating has been terrible. Been a part of some games where the officiating has been great. But I also think, you know, just to really, truly, I do have a strong opinion about, I think it is their job to help these guys learn how to play the game. So when I see a ref in a 7th grade B team game or a 7th grade A team game and he's throwing 1,000 flags because this kid's moving his hands a little bit, I think it's your job as the ref right there. Hey, you got to be still right here because they're still learning. These kids, they're still learning how to play the game. So it's going to be you can call a flag on them just about every play.
Yes.
I think I hear what you're trying to say. So just to support you a little bit I think it is their job and their due diligence to make sure they're teaching these kids how to play the game a little bit and not just being flag happy. Like my thing is call the obvious, you know, and let some of the little things go sometimes.
Of course.
It's just like in football, you can probably call holding on just about every play on the O-line. Right? Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, if you look at a play, you can probably call holding just about every time. So sometimes you just got to call the ones that are just the true obvious that truly springs a long run and stuff like that. So I think as those guys, I think I retweeted the other day because I know Tasso's looking for more officials and want people to be involved in it because, you know, it is a shortage of officials. And my job as high school coach is to make sure these guys feel good about their job they're doing. So I don't, you know, because we need these guys to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to go watch a game and you ain't got reps out there, right?
Yeah.
I know I don't want to be a part of a game like that. So I'm gonna love them up. I want. So anybody that's listening, man, if you want to go be a rep, just go to Tasso's website and sign up. And,
I might go sign up.
And it's a way. And if you truly like the game and you're a personal fan, I think it's fun to go out there and do something like that. Like if I wasn't doing this as a coach, or one day if I do retire and I want to go out there and ref a game, I'll probably do it and ref some little league games, some middle school games. I think it'll be fun to do.
Yeah. I had a dude tell me this weekend, and like this is not bad. I don't care about bad calls. Bad calls happen, right? I've been a victim of bad calls on the field. I get that shit. It's the dude tells me your tight end is holding, right? I'm in an overload formation to the right. I got a guard and a tackle backside. I got a wing over there. So this is on his side of the field. I don't have a tight end. Got me? I got a guard and a tackle, and I got a guy off the ball. Okay. He tells me, your tight end is holding. I'm yelling, what number? I don't know what number. You should know who the tight end is. And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have a tight end. Like, is it the wing or is it the tackle? You know, and he's like, I don't know. You should know your lineup. I feel like if that was a Friday night game, right, or if it was any other level, he would have told you
a number.
Coach, it's number 17 that's holding. But because he feels like he can handle me any kind of way, you should know. You should know who you got over there. Okay.
Hey,
You know
Roy,
what I'm saying?
Roy gets fired up, man.
Hell yeah,
He gets
man.
fired up.
Well, they know they know that I'm not.
well,
They know me. I'm not.
I'm with you. I think you definitely got to give you a
Suggestion,
number.
yeah.
How do I coach the kid? How do I teach the kid what he's doing wrong?
Then was it the head rep or was
No, it was a sideline. It was a ref on that sideline over
Yeah,
there.
so then that's when you got to tell the rep on your sideline, hey, can you get with him and say, hey, give me a number so I can get my guy coached up because I don't want to teach him the whole. Trust me, that's not the.
Yeah.
We in practice and I told him, hey, you need to tackle this guy. So I want to help this guy and make sure he's playing the game right. That's when you tell that rep, hey, rep, can you just tell that guy over there, hey, give me a number because I don't have a tight end set. I get what he's saying. I should know my guys. If I did have a tight end lineup, yeah, I probably would know who he is, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm not in the tight end set and I'm in tackle over, is it the tackle or is it the wing? I think that's
Which one of them?
It's
Yeah,
easy.
which one
Is
of
it the
them
guy
is it?
on the ball or is it the guy off the ball? So I get it.
So last year, I told the ref he should kill himself.
That's not good.
Last year, I told one that you should kill yourself. This year, I told one he's a loser. You're a loser because you cheat 10-year-old kids.
Loser.
This weekend, I told one, man, you're going to get fucking tennis elbow and carpal tunnel if you throw that flag anymore. This dude was throwing that damn flag so much. Like, I'm like, dude, these are 8-year-old kids. You throwing that damn flag like you're reffing the Super Bowl and it's just, you got to call. I'm like, you suck at your job, man. Just quit. Just quit doing this. You
It's
suck.
people like you are making these guys not want to be official. I am pro officials. It's like you're making their job. It's because of you we got a shortage of officials.
It's my fault.
We're gonna remove him from the show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
I love them.
I
I know what we need them. I need them, and like I said, as a competitor, trust me, I have been a part of a big time game, and the officiating wasn't great.
It was terrible.
It was terrible, but again, the best thing is I'm in the box, so I can say whatever I want because it don't
Nobody
count.
hear.
Nobody
See,
can hear. They
so
can't hear me.
You can't discredit me because you're hiding up there and you saying
They
all
can,
kind
but
of
they
stuff.
can't hear me.
Hey, they can hear me. Everybody can hear me because I'm the lie. He heard me all the way across the
I
field.
was on the other side of the sideline. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
so
he's
I-
going off.
So I'm in the box. So I like being in the box.
So you're always in the box.
I'm always in the box. And sometimes I have came down and called. I think when we moved Demetrius up as a freshman, I actually came out of the box and called the game. It's just me personally, I don't like it because I can't see
The whole field.
the whole field like I want. Then I don't want to be that guy that goes stands 30 yards back from all the offensive guys, and then looks like I'm trying to bring attention to myself.
Of course.
And that's where you kind of got to stand to see the whole field. But then I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, look at the OC over there. He wants to go stand over there like he's just. That's not me.
He's
I don't
making a
want,
big deal
I
about it.
want less attention on me as possible.
That's always me though. Like I
Yeah.
can't see the game unless so I'll get way behind the
Yeah.
offensive line
Yeah.
and look back at the play and see
Yeah,
where the
because
penetration
that's kind
comes.
of that's kind of what I can do. And there's some OCs out there that love being on the field and they don't like being in the box. I think the biggest thing for me by being in the box, you take the emotion out of the game.
Calm down.
You can calm down. You can relax. And when you're on the field, you get so much emotionally involved because now it can be a play that I don't like. Just say if it was a ref made a bad call, well, I'm so ate up talking to the ref and yelling at the ref. Well, who's calling the play? You know what I'm saying? So I get involved in that. Now all of a sudden I'm mad at the ref, and next thing you know, I'm rushing the call, and we get a delay of games. So
Maybe
I
I need
think
to get in the box.
so when you're up in the box, you just take the emotion side out of the game. Now it's still just as fun, and you still going through an emotional roller coaster up there, but you're able to calm yourself down, sit down, and get your thoughts together.
Maybe that I should go to the box.
Maybe you should be in the box.
I should be in the
Permanently.
box. Don't let me on the
But
field.
yeah, so I like calling it up there, man.
That's good, man. I haven't been. I didn't go to any game this season. Last season I went. Played Laporte
Laporte, yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I went to games even from the scrim. I went to scrimmages. I love watching it, man, because I've always considered myself a student of the game. I watch Nike camps. I watch everything because I just love football. But man, I go to a high school football game probably 90% of the season. The last 2 years has been Shadow Creek, because the kids love Gully. They grow, that's Uncle Gully. They want to see him coach. So
Yeah, Gully's
The last 2
Yeah,
years.
Gully
we've been-
good dude.
Yeah, I met
I'm
him.
so happy. You know, I've been trying to get Gully over to North Shore forever, and you know, he got on there and he was just there. He's like, man, I just got here, and which for him it worked out for him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy for those guys. I was actually at the state game when they won it. You know, so we was there that Friday night. We took the whole team there, so it was good to see, you know, guys you play with, you know, win.
Good to
I
see
was
'em have
so
success.
excited for those guys, man, because you know they came up short the year before.
Yeah.
So just to see, you know, guys that you play with, good friends, to win it it's unbelievable, man.
bet.
And then now, you know, he's like, man, I gotta go. Tomorrow's
it's time to
hot
take
turn.
care of
Yeah,
business.
but it's just good because I know how it felt, you know, how they felt the year prior, man. You know, you work so hard and you get there and you fall up short. You know, but, you know, I know for them it's good to come back and redeem themselves.
Speaking of the year prior, what, 5 seconds left? Something like
Yeah,
that.
4 seconds. Yeah.
4 seconds left.
What went through your mind? I mean,
You know, it's called a Hail Mary for a reason, right? It's
a prayer.
It's a prayer. It truly is. And I tell you what, you know, we had some good receivers like that year. We had Sharrod Banks, you had AJ Carter. So, you know, you feel like you got a chance. You always gonna feel like you got a chance, you know. The thing, and then give my boy Coach McKnight, you know, because we knew with a minute two, I was like, oh, we got plenty of time, minute two, one time out. We got a chance to go down here. All we really needed was a field goal, you know. So, and we've been moving the ball all night, so we felt confident that we was gonna get down into at least a field goal range. You know, with that time in football and high school football, minute two is like an eternity. But you know, we had a couple of bad calls, game, but you know, it's just one of those things where the kids just kept fighting. You know, the thing was we was gonna originally call a play. Y'all remember when Boise played Oklahoma in the in the Fiesta Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got a play called Boise.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, no, it's not the Statue of Liberty.
Hook and
It's
ladder.
the one with the hook and ladder and the toss here and there. So we was going to eventually go with that play because we knew they'd be playing soft and we better get that off. But, you know, the kids, you know, like Coach K was down there and the kids just didn't feel so, you know, he said they ain't look as confident and really want to run that day. He was all calling for the Hail Mary. And it's something we go through every Thursday you walk through the Hail Mary. Not hoping that you have to use it. But so the kids was like, they want the Hail Mary. I said, well, let's go with the Hail Mary then. And then, you know, from there as a coach, all you can really do is be a spectator, you know. You know for a fact this is your last play, regardless. Good or bad, this is the last play of the season. So, and it's fortunate enough, we came out on the positive side of it, man. So I can tell you this, you know, the one thing about being in Jerry's World was probably that, to me, that's one of the best stadiums I've been in. It's great. They got a huge TV right in front of you as you call a game. But I saw it from soon as he touched his hand on that huge TV that he caught it. And so I'm up in there just losing it. I'm grabbing my stuff and I'm running down to the field. Well, I don't even know that they're reviewing anything.
Ooh.
You know, so as I run down to the field, somebody said, oh, it's under review. They're reviewing it. So I run up the field. By that time, I see the refs coming through. And I was like, what happened? You guys won. I was like, cool. And then I'm like, well, what was the review about? Was
That
it?
kind of sucks, though, man. It
Yeah.
kind of takes the excitement away.
Well, because I was so happy, and then you get off the elevator, it was under review. I'm like, under
the hell?
review. So I'm running to the field, so I don't know why it's under review. I'm saying if it's under review for a catch, it's a catch. So
I already seen
Who
But-
that.
caught that ball?
that was AJ Carter, so it was really under review to see if the quarterback crossed the line of scrimmage.
That's initially what I thought.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I was like, where I was from, he was behind the line of scrimmage
Yeah.
the whole time. So it was
Yeah,
like
you can see it from up
you
top.
could see it from up top, so it wasn't like
Maybe the refs need to go in the box and,
Yeah.
and then throw like a flag from there.
It'll just light up yellow and then
Yeah, so shout out to-
offsides.
Shout out to AJ Carter. He caught a big ball, man, and he's a good kid. He's playing at Utah State. This past
Okay,
year,
so
so
is he with
Jason
he's
Coach
with
Phillips?
Coach Phillips?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I remember exactly where I was when I saw that happen, and it was just like, what the hell just happened?
Nah, it was crazy, man. It
What
was,
the hell?
that was probably, you know, it was unbelievable. You know,
Where do you put that in your football moments, man? I know we all got
that to me, that's got to kind of be up there. I don't know if you will ever get a moment like that again, you know, and I've still got a lot of years left of coaching. But right now, in my young coaching career, that has to be number one. You know, you just don't to win a state championship on the Hail Mary.
That's gonna be hard to top.
That's gonna be hard to top.
At that venue.
At that venue, at that time, you know, when you know, like I said, you're playing a team like Duncanville, who's unbelievable, and they're loaded, and they got a good team. And I think their defense that year was giving up like 1.8 points a game. I was like 1.8. I'm like,
you know, how do you even do that?
How you do that? And then, you know, the talk is, well, you know, y'all got dominated the whole game, but you know, which last time I checked in that game, we had about 600 yards of offense. Demetrius threw for like 333 yards, right? So, but you know,
Hail Mary.
I know they doubted it. That like everybody, you know, we're in a little sports group. Everybody pretty much had y'all pegged to lose this year.
I don't know why.
Hey, truthfully, I did. I'll be honest. I did just because everybody was going with North Shore that I knew. I was like, they're gonna lose.
Yeah,
and I'm honest about it.
I truly don't. You know, my
about
thing is I truly don't know why. You know, it's one of those things, man. The team went through so much adversity this year. You know, I watch us. You know, we played a tough Westfield team, which most people are like, well, you should be Westfield's a good team, and that's the reason why I'm so glad we always played them every year. And they're one team that always looking forward to playing us one year. And they had a good run this past year. Yeah. I think they lost to the Denton Geyer team, one of those Denton schools, and they had a good year. And we had a bunch of kids out that game, and that right there showed me that okay, we're gonna be all right. You know, we had the starting tackle out, we had starting corner out, we had starting running back out. You know, starting receiver that was hurt. You know, we had like I want to say. Literally 6 or 7 kids with D1 scholarships out for the whole game, and you know we had to come back and win that game. That's you know, on a field goal. So it just goes to the kids being ready to go.
And it goes back to what you're saying is like you play these tough teams to get you ready for that big moment and to see it on the season where you guys stand at. And, you know, if you're gonna compete at that high level with those other teams, because Westfield is they're a real good team, man. They're always pretty good from what I remember.
Yeah. And then I tell any college coach, y'all need D linemen. You need to make sure you go by Westfield. They ain't gonna always have some guys that can play on the D line. I can remember playing them guys back when they had Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver was probably the one. He was the best D lineman I done seen. Yeah. You know, the kid was truly unblockable. Only time you blocked Ed Oliver is when Ed Oliver let you block him. Because he was taking the playoff, so it wasn't. Yeah, he was a generation talent. You don't get too many of those guys that can truly be a game changer, like he was. Like I watched the kid as we had him beat, come and just say, "Oh, it's time for me to ball out, make a play, strip sack, fumble, recover, all right, ball game." I'm like, wow, you know. So they do a good job. It's a lot of programs around the city. Houston do a good job of coaching their kids up. You know. Hats out to all the coaches in the city of Houston that work the hours they work to get their program to where it needs to be.
Junior, you got some explaining to do, man.
Junior, come take a seat with us, my man. I've been waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, Junior Aguilar is in the building. Drinking Pedialyte.
You can hand me my baby over here, man. I'll take it.
Man, you know what? Go set that outside.
You can hand me my baby.
Set it outside.
You know, hey, we won the state championship too this year. That's the state championship trophy. Yeah, that's the state championship trophy.
Hey, I don't want to talk about that. Don't.
Can you still see us with that sitting?
Coach, don't even comment on that. I don't want to talk about that.
That's a nice trophy, man.
It is, man.
Thanks for coming out, bro.
No problem.
That's my first trophy as the head coach, man. They let me. Somebody decided I was the head coach this weekend. 2 weekends in a row, and I got 2 trophies.
It was a coordinator.
It was a long ride back home.
What you put in the front seat with the seatbelt over?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
That's a fancy trophy.
That's a nice trophy, man. That's a nice one, man.
You got to build your trophy case at the house, man.
Yeah,
you
man.
Got all this hardware like this, man.
I don't even want to look over there. So,
hey, Steve Medina says Lee Martinez says he taught you everything you know.
Lee Martinez is probably one of the funniest guys I ever been around and worked for. I coached a little baseball back when I first got North Shore, so Coach Martinez is now the assistant athletic director of Goose Creek ISD. So he is a good dude. But that's my guy right there, Coach Martinez.
So, Junior, how you doing, bud?
Man, I'm doing good, bro.
How was your baseball practice?
I was good. It was good. We put in work. Actually, some of the parents were like, "What the hell you have to do to the kids today?" We're like, "We made them run." So
let's just discuss the elephant in the room. What happened?
What
How was
talking
your
about?
trip? How was your trip?
Oh, we talking about KC?
Yeah,
Come
we
on.
took-
No. We're talking about the Texans, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
How was your trip?
All right. We left Houston that Friday at 7, and we're leaving. Frank the Tank was waiting outside. I remember Frank the Tank. So he's waiting for me outside, picks me up. We pick up Santos and Brian, and we jet. Man, it took about an hour and a half to get out of Houston, right? We're driving, heading towards Dallas, and we hit the tornadoes.
What?
Yeah. Now, I have all the videos on my phone. I'm going to put a YouTube video together and
Wow.
show you. We went through a mission. So we passed Dallas, and we're getting to Oklahoma, and then we hit an ice storm. So we were on the road. Frankly,
That's a sign.
You should have knew shit was going bad, right?
Wait, I forgot. Before we even left Houston, nobody knows this. I don't know what the hell Frank hit, but we had a full-blown blowout in the middle of the highway.
I
And
wouldn't
I'd
have
have
gone.
turned around.
But before that blowout, Santos got a blowout on the way to his house. So that's why we were running late, because we were waiting for that dude. He was stuck on 45. You know where that old building with the cross was at? That
Yeah.
right there.
Hey, man, if those aren't signs,
So
I don't know what is.
So Frank's like, man, I don't know. And I was thinking like, man, dude, you know what? Screw this. Let's just turn around. But then Frank's like, man, I already bought the tickets. And then $300 a pop. I was like, man, I ain't giving you $300 to watch it at home. So we drove. And then when we got to KC, it was snowing. So it was great experience. We stayed at the hotel right in front of the Arrowhead and the Royals, whatever the hell it's called. Kaufman Stadium.
Like across the street.
Like literally across the street.
Yeah, that's when I stayed there
I
when
showed
I
you.
went
It
there.
was at Spring Hill Suites or something like that.
We stayed there
Yeah.
when we went there for Junior Olympics.
And now it was awesome, man. We did that whole traveling Texans deal. So we went to the Union Station. You know, we wore the cowboy hats. Came out on the news. And, you know, we were pumped, dude. I was yelling Super Bowl the whole time. And
Of course you were.
all right, so now look, everybody thinks that we got there at kickoff and, you know, we saw everything. Well, we did it. So let me tell y'all what happened. So we're tailgating, right? And we really, you know, I don't drink a lot. I'm a lightweight. So I was hungover Friday, Sunday. So we got some menudo at this Mexican restaurant. We're like, we need some menudo. We got some menudo. Of course, I puked that out anyways. But we get to Arrowhead. When we got to Arrowhead, like my little buzz, like hangover buzz, like went away because of the vibe. So it's snow everywhere. Everybody's just, you know, Chiefs. Just crazy, bro. It was crazy. We're walking around, cowboy hats, Texans jerseys, and everybody's just giving us love, but, you know, talking mess, but shots, beer, all that. I got to say, NRG, Minute Maid, every other stadium I've been to, man, you're in and out quick. God damn. Arrowhead only has like 4 entrances, bro. It took 45 minutes to get into the stadium. Guess what time we showed up to the gate? It was like 1:30. So we missed kickoff. We missed we were there with the flyover, but it was cloudy. So as soon as they let us in, man, I ran. I think it was like section 101. And as I'm running down the stairs, me and my friend Brian's following me. Frank the Tank was walking. And him and Santos were walking. And I get there, and all you see is the ball in the air, and Kenny Stills just wide open. And I'm going nuts. Now I'm just like, Super Bowl! So as we're freaking going up so Arrowhead's divided into 3 sections. Like, if you're in the lower level, you can't reach the 300s where we were sitting at. So then we had to go out through the back, go through the little turn thingy. And as we're walking up, we hear the crowd, oh. So then I look at the scoreboard. It's 14-0. We missed our first 2 touchdowns as we were getting there. Man. So we sit in our seats. And then we have the ball, and we're driving. So now I'm feeling really good. I'm like, man, Texans looking good. We score the touchdown, and, bro, I just start going, Texans. And it's just 4 of us. So now the crowd's getting rowdy. They're like, hey, you don't have to do that. And then 24-0, right? Bello, I'm on FaceTime on Jalen. And we kicked the field goal instead of going for it, right? I'm yelling the whole time because I was buzzing. Like, man, go for it, Bill. Damn, Bill O'Brien. Jalen calls me. He's like, did you believe that he kicked the field goal? And the entire time that the Chiefs were up, the crowd is on their feet chanting, bro. I'll tell you what, if that happened in Houston, everybody would have been gone by then. So now I'm like an undercover Chiefs fan because of the vibe. It felt like college atmosphere. But I knew when it's 24-0 and the crowd is standing up, just, chopping it up, I knew we were in trouble, man. I was like, something's about to happen. Too good to be true. Frank the Tank went to the restroom, came back, and then they were up already. Frank's like, what happened? And I was like, dude, I don't know. And everybody just like, it was crazy atmosphere. But when they pulled away, they scored so fast. I didn't realize they put up 41. I'm like, how the hell did we give up 41 unanswered? And that was it. But hey, Patrick Mahomes, dude, that guy's a GOAT, dude.
The real deal.
He's the real deal. Like, I was a big fan of him because he played baseball. We played against his dad a couple of times. But I didn't want to, but I knew the Texans were trying to get him during the draft. I heard a lot of good stuff from Bill O'Brien. But when we got Watson, I'm like, yeah, we got the real Michael Jordan. Dad will said it.
I like Watson, man.
Watson's a good player, though, man.
I don't think you went wrong. Like, somebody picked him before you.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. You still got a good quarterback.
But I have a question, though. How did the Bears mess that up, bro?
Chicago Bears.
There was a Trubisky Bowl.
Trubisky Bowl. I just think, some people, some GMs fall in love with a particular guy, and that's their guy. And I don't think most people are like, man, I can't believe that. It's just like, what's the guy up in Baltimore that got skipped on Lamar, right? Yeah. Certain people fall in love with a guy they think that's going to be good for their system. So I don't think the Bears was like, you know what, they saw Mahomes and it was like, he's a little project. This guy right here is going to be good for us.
Yeah.
And not understanding, to me, you can never go wrong with a guy who has still got a good little upside to him.
You know what, though? Just sit here and think about it. I couldn't see Mahomes in the Bears uniform, and I couldn't see Watson in the Bears uniform.
It's
just don't seem like they fit.
It's just like when if you think about it, you go back to when Mahomes was at Texas Tech. You knew he had a big arm, right? You knew all that stuff, but the offense he ran in college, would he be able to run an NFL type of style?
Yeah,
offense,
that was the question.
And most people say, well, and I hate hearing that when they say, well, he never took a snap on any center. How many times have you watched an NFL game and watched that these guys are in shotgun 75 to 85% of the time?
Yeah.
Right?
Do y'all take under snap center?
Oh, yeah, we do. We got a whole package of it.
Do y'all huddle?
No, sometimes we do. And we huddling. If we're huddling, it's 4-minute situation. We just trying to milk the clock and kill the clock. But everything we do is like a little motor huddle. If it's tempo, we switch up. We got a couple different tempos we switch up to.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is some of these GMs fall in love with a guy that they like, and the head coach might like him as well. So it's not like, I think they looked at Mahomes like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because if you really looked at Mahomes and you was truly being honest, him coming out, he was a project, Yeah. And, and everybody is really, because you truly don't know what you're going to get until you get it. Like everybody can be like, I can't believe we skipped over this guy. If you really go back and really do your homework, yeah, you can. Yeah.
I couldn't believe they skipped over Watson, because Watson was like, to me,
is the guy.
He's beating Bama. At the time he beat Bama, nobody was beating. Bama was Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Right? And he beat Bama twice.
I know.
Would he beat him twice?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he beat him twice.
I throw this out there. What was my home record at Texas Tech?
Not good.
500.
Yeah, and that's no fault of his. But that goes back to say, because watching him, he did some things at Tech. He was like, man, I watch him do some of that stuff and didn't get away when he threw picks, and he did that. But now look at him. You got a guy like, and also been in the good system like with Andy Reid and those guys out there. Who's the OC, Eric? You're in there with his system. They're doing a good job with him, and he's got some talent. You got a Sammy Watkins. You got the other guy. You got
McCole Hardman.
Yeah.
Tyreek.
So it's Tyreek Hill. So you got some talent around you.
Yeah.
And he's understanding, like, the biggest thing being a quarterback and being a good quarterback is taking care of the football, right? Nobody wants a quarterback that's throwing a lot of picks, right? Because you ain't gonna win a game like that. The most important thing about
Eli
football,
Manning.
Yeah, what I tell people, what I tell our offensive guys, the most important thing about football is the football, right?
Yeah.
You can't, as an offense, we can't do nothing without that football. So if we're turning it over, you're gonna probably lose the game.
Jameis Winston.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look
30 for 30.
But and you think about Jameis, he had 30 picks. Like that's
crazy.
that gets you fired. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he's probably gonna get a raise.
and you know what? But then that lets you know how hard it is to play quarterback in that league, right? Mm-hmm. This man threw 30 picks, and they thinking about, dang, we got to keep him because who do you got behind him?
Yeah. Well, every other thing around those picks is, you know, is record setting though. He's all of his numbers they were comparing to Peyton Manning's numbers.
Great,
but except for the turnovers.
Picks.
If he takes those, like I know, you know how coaches think.
Up,
they're thinking like, okay,
we can clean them up.
He did all of this. Yeah. Just think of where we would be if we don't turn the ball over at quarterback 30 times.
Exactly.
They're probably feeling like Super Bowl competitors.
And tell you the truth, you got to pay the man, right? Because at the end of the day, one of the most important, the important position in football is the quarterback position, right? It's you ain't gonna hear much. If it's one thing I want to have on a consistent basis, a quarterback, right? I love it every day. If I knew every year I'm gonna have this good quarterback that can do all this, that'll make my job that much easier. But at the end of the day, Demetrius Davis is going to be gone from the North Shore. I'm going to have to develop another guy, right?
You got one
because then it's going to be like, well, he wasn't good. It was the quarterback. Well, the quarterback is pretty good. So, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's all about me. I coach that guy. That guy's pretty good, and he makes us good. So,
I know a lot of those coaches, man, they cash in right after that. Like, they say, okay, I had Davis for all these years. I'm gonna go ahead and cash in and go get me. Go
coaches are not me because I'm a competitor. So now my thing is now
making the next one.
You know. And I thought, before I had Demetrius Davis, I had a guy named Brian Beatty who was real good, and I only had Brian for 1 year, and it was my first year. So he's a first year starter, and I'm a first year OC. We went out there and we did some good things, and we lost in overtime to Tacita. In the 5th round. I mean, not in the regional finals. So we lost that game. We should have been in the semi. So I think since I've been as OC, we have been regional finals to state. So, and once I've been OC the last 3 or 4 years or so, or something crazy like that. But not to toot my own horn, but it's just
but toot
back to back.
It's one of those things. Is as a competitor, you're gonna find the next guy, and that's my job. That's what I get paid for. Is developing another QB.
Yeah. That's what's up. Man.
But I've been knowing that.
Time,
but you know what I'm saying. I've been knowing that since this fall, and I knew that last spring. So my goal this spring is to make sure I have a guy ready to go. So.
Yeah,
I know what Demetrius can do, right? So I don't need to see him a lot, but I get one of these other younger guys going.
Get him going.
That's awesome. Yeah, but to finish up on that, man, it was a great experience at Arrowhead. I will say this: Kansas City has the best fans, but the worst women.
Okay.
They were all tall, dude. They're taller than me. They were all like 6'2", 6'3". I'm like, okay. Like, man, I should have came over here, But anyways.
It's still tall here in Texas for me.
5'4".
Hey, but before we left Arrowhead, we were walking around the stadium to the Ring of Honor, Hall of Honor, took pictures. I'm big into stadiums, so I like to travel and, take pictures and all that. So we were doing it, and, my son's favorite player is Tyreek Hill. Well, it's Watson and Tyreek Hill, right? So he's like, give me a jersey. So I walk into the store, and everybody's like, oh, you're getting a Chiefs jersey now? I'm like, maybe. Nah, I'm just playing. But I got my son one, and I'm leaving. We're walking out, and this group of ladies come up to us, older ladies, like 55, 60-year-old Chiefs fans, die hard, face painted, everything. Wow. And they come up to us, and they tell us, one of them was a Hispanic lady, so she was like, hey, mijo, thanks for coming, blah, blah, blah. And the thing that they all said before we left, thank you for coming to Kansas City and spending your hard-earned money in our team, in our stadium. This is how we keep it running. And man, when she said that, I said, man, go Chiefs. I'm like, y'all go get it, man. You don't hear that here, because we take it for granted here in the big city, man. Like pro sports, youth sports, all levels. Like we're so spoiled, It's nobody works hard here, really. Yeah. I see everybody working, but are we really working that hard? I don't know.
We got, if you think of the athletes we got in this city right now, it's unrealistic. Like the athletes you have in Houston, from the basketball team to the baseball team to the football team. Like if you just start writing down those names, J.J. Watt, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Altuve, Springer, Correa, you just start reeling off those names.
You got some national stars, right?
Yeah.
Just like how we're
right.
talking the high school level when you get those national recruits like the Demetrius Davis, the Zach Evans, the Shadrack Banks, and those type of guys, the Corey Flash we had become like national recruits. You got national stars out here, and you can go watch them if you want to go watch a baseball game or a basketball game or football. You get to go watch some good time players.
Right in your backyard.
Everybody's talking about, not just us in the city of Houston, but everybody in the state knows who these guys are, you know.
In the country.
And J.J. Watt goes up to and walk around in Alaska, they going to know that's J.J. Watt, you know.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. So, what are the picks?
We doing Super Bowl already?
Yeah, we're doing Super Bowl. Or you want to wait? Well,
I'll
we got to
go
guess.
first.
We gotta let Willie pick, man.
Well, yeah, we got
Yeah,
it.
coach, you go first, coach.
You got it, coach.
After watching both of them, and they're both great teams, this is, it was just a thing of beauty to watch 49ers last week and the way they ran the football, right? And to me, I feel like if you can win the rush game, and if you, again, I'm all about, you can go check the stats, the team that wins the rush is the team that wins the game. So it's going to come down to the trenches right here. So if 49ers able to run the ball like they ran last week, they're going to win this game. So I'm going to go, because everybody's thinking Chiefs, I'm going to go 49ers.
Wow.
Well, my pick is, I don't disagree with you, Coach. I think my pick is pretty clear. Unless San Francisco can put up 60-some points, Chiefs by 30.
Oh man, it's a blowout.
I'm just saying because look, we're up 24-0, and I'm telling Friendly Tank like we're going AFC Championship, and then these boys put it up. But no, I think the game's gonna be close. I just feel that man, I don't know, dude. After seeing Mahomes and everything he's done, I think he's just gonna have that signature game, man, that everybody's talking about. And he's had him already. He's had the season. He's done what he did the last couple weeks this season, but I think we're gonna see something special, man. But either way, Texans ain't in it, so it don't hurt me.
So we let Robert go last because Robert has probably about a 12% success rating on picking the right team. So we're gonna let him go last. So I'm gonna go, and I hate to pick the team that I'm gonna pick. I want to pick the Chiefs.
Go 49.
I want to because I do not want the 49ers to get 6 Super Bowls before the Cowboys. So I want to pick the Chiefs, man, but I think these big quarterback stars do not win in these big games the first time. Like,
I agree.
I don't think Garoppolo has as much of his team on his shoulders as Mahomes does. Garoppolo has a pass rush from hell. The 49ers are going to rush your quarterback, and they're going to get after the quarterback. They got a defense from hell. Mahomes is going to be asked to shoulder the load and throw his team back into the game. He's going to be asked to win that game. Garoppolo's not.
You think the 49ers secondary is good enough to stop the two cheetahs on the ends?
I don't. You're talking about the receivers?
Yeah.
I don't think you win. Like in Super Bowls, the score is usually not, except for last year where it sucked, right?
Hell.
The Super Bowl is really not usually a defensive game. It's an offensive game. So I think what the 49ers do is slow the game down, grind it out, and, hold the ball, score.
It's not a form of playing defense.
Yeah, you give Mahomes the ball back, and you just make him make a mistake. When you look at when Manning played the Saints, right? Manning was forced to make mistakes. He was forced to throw the ball late. When you're throwing the ball a lot late, a good defensive coordinator can find a way to make you throw into a trap. I don't care how good of a quarterback you are. A good pass rush and a good coordinator is going to be tough to beat. And 49ers, I've been seeing them rush the passer all year. So I don't want to.
Hey, their running back's
I'm
like a
gonna go
track guy too, right?
Yeah.
Mostert?
He went like 10-1, something like that.
That
from
dude
Purdue.
can fly, man.
Dude.
That's a good pick right there. So
Yeah, I'm going to go 49ers. What you got, Robert?
I'm going to go 49ers, man.
All right. 3-1. Okay.
49ers, man.
All right.
I think Mahomes is gonna have a good game, but I think the defense is gonna show up for 49ers. They're gonna give him some problems, man.
That D line is unbelievable. Like I said,
crazy.
if you can get after the passer, and he won't have just 3 coming at him. They're gonna rush 4.
I got a question. I got a question for you guys. Who's going to turn out to be better out of the two brothers? Nick or Joey Bosa? Cause damn, Nick stood out to me last week.
Yeah, I think
See,
Nick is-
Joey came in the league kind of banged up.
Yeah.
You know, I like to see him get healthy, but
But another thing too, he's got some help. Joey came in and he didn't have any
yeah,
help.
that's what I'm saying. Nick is in a great situation because he's got other pass rushers. You can't double everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get a single block.
You've heard about Joey trying to come over in the off or when he's a free agent to play with him, right?
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
Shit, I would too.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Great, man.
I guarantee you though, the money they're gonna offer him, he to stay. You know.
yeah.
You know, you ain't gonna just let a pass rusher leave.
Yeah, you ain't gonna just let him leave. And,
You know,
the 49ers are gonna be coming up on time to pay Garoppolo and all of, you know, if Garoppolo wins the Super Bowl this year, he's gonna get, you know,
Paid.
he's gonna get paid.
he already got paid.
Yeah, he
though.
already
got paid?
Oh, he
The
already
year,
got paid.
the year that he blew
got-
his knee out.
Yeah,
he
they
had just
played.
gotten paid.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah,
paid
so he's
already.
already getting paid.
What was that,
so.
5 year, 4 year, 5 year?
Yeah, so he's still under contract.
So
he's
then
going
they
to
won't-
have to pay that contract, so they ain't about to give him no more money.
They won't have no money to pay another two pass rushers. That type of money.
Just franchise tag his
Must
brother.
be a good problem. Huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
We're franchise tag the young brother. And
Anyways, another news: Cowboys gonna win Super Bowl next year.
Absolutely.
I'm marking that right
and
now.
on that note,
Marking that.
But man, we appreciate you coming out, man.
appreciate you for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you guys invited me out, man. I had a good time. It's a great show to be a part of. I know you guys are up and coming stars, man. I just want to make sure y'all don't forget about me when y'all make it.
We'll never
Hey,
forget.
He's telling me about the building you guys about to move into and have y'all a nice little studio set
Yeah,
up.
yeah, for sure.
man.
So man, that's good, man. I'm excited for my buddy, man, just to see him doing something, having this platform and getting this started. I might have to start my own podcast, man. I got all this fancy
come over with
equipment,
us.
man.
Won't you just join us?
Yeah, man, just come every week.
Just
man.
straight coach talk.
That's awesome.
Hey man, we try to keep it, you know, like I know a lot of people are like skeptical about stuff like this because people like to ask crazy questions. We try to keep it football. You know, I like to joke and play a little bit, but we don't come in here and mess around with people. You know, we know this is y'all's livelihood, man. We're not coming out here to ask you any crazy questions or do any crazy stuff. So all of y'all out there listening, man, come out here and join the show, man. Come teach us a little bit about football.
Definitely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
That's the wind up motto.
Julio, you good?
Yeah, we're good. Great show, guys.
Junior?
Hey, we did awesome, man. I was keeping up.
Which camera is showing?
This quick one.
He's killing me, man.
Hey, bro.
Hey, did we talk about that? He know
Which
he
one?
beat us, right?
Which one?
That one.
This one.
When we went to,
Oh, for real?
yeah, he beat us.
Damn.
That's as close as you're gonna get to
Get
it.
away from me, man.
Hey, that trophy taller than Rob. messing with you,
nah,
man.
it's all good.
Hey,
Coach?
but during the show, I was sitting there. I was just like looking at the comments. I have a lot of friends and family that went to North Shore. Man, everybody's
it's-
showing love and
Oh, yeah.
they shared it, man. So
Definitely.
The North Shore, man, you know, that's the thing about it. We all, you know, stick together. My wife graduated from North Shore. I know she was listening earlier. Shout out to my wife, Elisa Gaston, a.k.a. Lisa Gonzalez Gaston. I'll throw your main name out there.
better get it correct.
Yeah, but that's, you know, it's a good thing, man. I'm excited to be from the community, man. You know, it's a you know, we, like I said, we all support each other. We all been there. It's the East Side, man. You know,
There's only one way, North Shore way.
Every year I was at U of H, from the first year till I graduated there, there was a North Shore player to come in every year. There was like a team within a team.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Me
At
and
one
Willie's
point,
brother.
we was calling that thing North Shore U, man.
Yeah.
U of H, we had and Roy would tell you, we probably had like 12 or 13 of us at one point at U of H, man. It was ridiculous.
Me
but,
and his brother came in at the same time. So we were in the same recruiting class. So
yeah, man, we came there, and like I said, you know, if I'm doing it all over again, I'm still picking U of H. As crazy as it sounds, you know, I'm still going there. You know, it ain't nothing like getting up in that third ward. That third ward will make you grow up real fast. You got to learn how to keep your head on the swivel. So I'll tell you that right now. You know, most of these kids that think you get out there in that third ward, you find out you're at the gas station. Next thing you know, you're getting robbed. So, you got to learn how to keep your head on the swivel. You're in that third ward. So, but I love being a Cougar, and my time at U of H was great. So I wouldn't change it anyway.
That's awesome, man. Roy, you good?
hey man, I'm good, man. Appreciate
Coach,
you again.
we appreciate you
Man,
again.
appreciate you guys
Best
for
of-
having me, man.
Best of luck next season. Hopefully we can get you back on.
Absolutely.
Good?
Yeah, for sure.
Julio? I mean, Junior, good?
Man, I'm great, bro. Excited.
Good.
Thanks for coming out, Coach.
We didn't hold up. Julio, who you got, man? We didn't get Julio.
Julio.
Oh, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
We got Chiefs.
There you go.
There we go. You got to write
My man,
Roberts.
hey, as long as my man made it, man. Hey, at some point I probably had to abandon the whole thing, man. Hold on. We driving through tornadoes,
snowstorm.
snowstorms, flat tire.
It was a great experience.
Hey, the universe is speaking to you, bro.
I know, man.
If you'd have told me all that before you got there, I would have told you, hey, man, it might not be too good for us.
Yeah.
We might take that L.
And to finish that up, so at the bar they were holding the Texans watch parties, right? For the whole weekend. Last weekend, some Tennessee fans got shot up. They're at the same bar we were at.
No.
Yes. Frank the Tank sent it to us, and I was like, wow. Man, we dodged a bullet there because when we went to downtown, because when we went to downtown, I got there. I'm like, man, this is downtown. Like,
was Aaron Hernandez in?
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't know.
But before
man.
you dodge the bullet, you dodge the tornadoes.
Yeah, we dodged Hey, the whole way back, bro, we knocked out the trip. I told the guys, like, hey, I'm driving back, and I drove 12 hours. I think we stopped just to pump gas and came back. And when we drove up, it was the start of the wine, the show.
windup,
Yeah. So the show had started. I walked in, kind of chanting on some Chiefs tomahawk chops on Steve, and he gets mad.
Comes in with the Mahomes and the Mahomes shades.
Well, it's because Steve's a big Raiders fan, so he's like, man, I hate the Chiefs. So he's rooting for the 49ers too. That's what he said. But
Shout out to Steve. He's at practice tonight. Should have been.
Hey,
here,
but we
it's
are.
all
I
good.
did tell Issa we started to order all the decorations, so we are gonna have the Super Bowl party here. So you guys are invited if y'all want to come out and watch Super Bowl. Cool. We got this massive pit. We're gonna be barbecuing outside. Yeah. So
I might have to come through, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We got some fajitas.
yeah.
We'll cook them.
Hey, you didn't get any cookies, man. But that, like when those cookies are out, they're
Yeah,
playing
well,
empty, man.
my wife, they flew in yesterday from Cali because they were playing a tournament. So I asked her to make us some, but she was busy today. But I'll get you on next time, Coach. And we also have our Cava Real tequila there for you to try at any time. So my casa is your casa.
Appreciate that,
Cool.
man.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to the Checkdown Podcast. I'm your host Robert. With
Does rice suck?
with my co-host Roy. We want to thank Coach Willie Gaston for coming in. Thank you for tuning in. Junior, producer Julio. Until next time, next Wednesday, have a good week.